We're going to school.
Oh, you're going to school. All right, there you go. That's
going back to school.
Going back to school.
Got my education at the School of Hard Knocks.
All right.
I got my education.
The stream is live. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group B, Legends Lost, Episode 2.
For clarification, B as in boy.
Yeah.
B as in
I did that earlier.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know, maybe we'll go back to numbers. I just, didn't want people looking for, like, whatever's going on now and bringing up the last set of groups. But anyways, yes, we have a full cast with us tonight, and we might have a new player joining us in the future. He's sitting in on the session, and he is going to be controlling the NPC Jessica. So when we last left off Group B, as in boy, it was their first session, and they were on their way towards their way towards Maphis University to deposit all of the dangerous magical artifacts that they have on them, and then continue their search for the headmaster of the university, who has been missing for nearly 2 months now. While they were on the road, their travels were interrupted by a messenger who, even though they did not tell anybody they were headed to the university or send any forward, the messenger knew them all by name and where they were going, and said that a woman claiming to be able to see the future in a nearby village had sent him in order to retrieve the party. That village turned out to be the town where Urkus, your ranger, was born, or rather was raised in. And inside this town, there is a massive wolf spirit that comes from the northern forests and protects the town. That spirit is the town's patriarch and also Urkus's father. His name is Bodoff, and it is common rumor, lore.
Bodoff as in boat off.
Bo, B-O-D-O-L-F.
Bodoff.
As
Bodoff
in
Hitler.
floats on the water. Boat off.
Yeah. Anyways, it is common rumors around the region that anybody who comes to the town is protected by the wolf spirit's presence, and the woman claiming to be able to see the future fled to the town to escape guards and other capture from authorities with behind the wolf's presence. When the party arrived at the town, they did find her there, and they also found Urkus's father protecting the woman, who revealed herself to be Hilpelry. There we go. It's gonna kill me all night long. Hilpelry.
Your fault.
I know. It's the naming conventions of this nation. And that she had fled to the she claimed she had fled to the forest in a time of great emotional distress and made a deal with a evil spirit that resides there, wishing to see her future, or wishing to see a single event in her future, and if it ever happens, and the spirit cursed her to see her entire future all the time. And the authorities in the region wanted to capture and understand what happened to her, while Urkus's father believes that, of course, anybody in the village under Urkus's father's protection cannot be attacked. The party found this out experimenting with different attacks to Halzik's face, and none of them would happen. And the authorities of the town informed the party that they would be after Hilpelry as soon as they were out of reach of the wolf spirit's presence. From there, the party had a final celebration in the town, and put on a feast for all of the villagers. At which time, Hippelry was doing parlor tricks and telling people's futures and predicting things that they were going to try and tell her. And before the party finally told her, "Hey, could you not do that?" And it turns out, in observing her, it turns out her future telling is only right a little more than half the time. And she shared some knowledge back with Roman, saying that one of the party members, she sees one of the party, or rather, one of herselves in her future, because that's how her abilities work, is she talks to herself from the future. One of herselves from the future said that one of the party members kills her, and asked Roman to help her change the future and figure out why this happens, and if, she can possibly shift it onto somebody else. That is where we're going to pick up at the end of that session. Do you guys want to skip to the morning, or do you want to pick up at that night?
Let's skip to the morning.
Yeah, I don't think we were doing anything special.
Yeah. All right. It is.
Circle maybe.
Yeah. It is the morning. It is the 11th of Priestess. The party consists now of Hauzik, Hauzik, the Warlock, Tristan, and I'm just going in depth just for Derek's sake. Hauzik, the Warlock, Tristan, the Cleric, Urkus, the Ranger, and Roman, the Fighter Monk. Traveling with you guys is Effie, the apprentice from the university. She is a undead vampire, and she makes this very aware to anybody she talks to. Jessica, the small prodigy monk.
Child molesters.
Yeah. Per the state of Ililnagai, I'm required to tell you I'm a vampire. Actually, very similar to that. Anyways, in Hilpelry, the quote-unquote clairvoyant.
Hey Brandon, for ease of access, can you move Effie and Jessica from Group 2 to Group B on the NPC list?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Or rather, you guys can, just talk amongst yourselves. I'll handle that right now.
Okay. So, are we going to going to the university?
Yes.
Or do we want to go research that witch and the magical powers that she may possess?
Remind me how this witch threatens us again.
She doesn't.
She doesn't. It's more of I'm kind of curious as to how Hippelry got her powers, and would love to experiment on how to get powers like that of my own.
I believe you summed up why the answer is no.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it is an extremely dangerous process, and
you know it because your father wouldn't tell me. Every time I asked about it, he was like, "I'm not supposed to tell you."
I don't know either. All I know is that it is dangerous, and a price was paid.
Hippelry seems fine, right, Hippelry?
Could that be any more vague?
She's gonna nod. Other than the fact that she's constantly plagued by all of these people trying to tell her future, and she's gonna nod eagerly and say, "Yeah." Other than just like learning when I die and all that other stuff, and yeah, it's great.
See?
Hold on, Brandon.
Yes.
I remember you brought something up last time. I don't know if I
Yes.
insight it or not.
You don't have to insight it because it was the last conversation you had last night with your father.
No, not that. It was something that you just brought up about Hippelry. I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure if I should roll insight on that for now. Because I remember, but I'm not sure if it's something that was noticeable.
If you want to mention it, feel free to. If Urkus knows it, Urkus knows it. Otherwise, you can insight and I'll tell you, but I'll be 100% honest. I don't know what you're talking about, because you guys know my DMing style. I answer questions.
Take 5 shots and then start the session.
Okay. Alright, so correct me if I'm wrong. You said she is wearing fancy clothes. Like, she just got out of, like...
Oh yeah.
Hapelri
just before she fled to the forest, she applied to join the Risen and got declined. The Risen is a very prestigious faction that handles the Alil Nagai government. She applied to join prep school and they told her no. And she looks like she just left, the application process.
So, like, completely fresh, like, not like she went through the woods. It's almost like she went to the woods in these clothes immediately after failing to apply, and...
Still looks fresh as new. With no scraped clothes,
They're
nothing.
People, not savages. They know how to walk.
It's more like this forest is obviously non-threatening. She made it out there without any ribs or scrapes in her nice clothing.
I mean, you guys could ask her that.
I'll ask her that. Like, I'll ask her. Hapelri, well, you do seem to have nice clothing. Is it appropriate for travel? I'm just extremely curious as to why you look like you were just, I want to say, in an interview.
She is going to gasp and look very offended and say, "I wouldn't go anywhere looking less than my best."
Respect.
Respect. I have a question now. Since it's been brought up, how did you make it through the forest without messing up your clothes? Like, aren't there like magical beasts and other things aside from the witch in that forest?
It's called skill.
Hapelri is going to take off her backpack and reveal it to you guys, where it looks like a adventurer's pack to the rest of you. On the outside, and all of your guys' adventurer's pack has, a bedroll, ropes, tools, kits. Inside of her bag is about 8 neatly folded outfits. There are no tools or supplies in here.
Gotcha.
I have no idea.
Kristen looks at this and says, "Oh boy."
It's worth stating, about right there, that black line I drew through Alil Nagai, and Urkus and Hauzik would know this because they're from Alil Nagai. Alil Nagai is basically the center of culture for the world. Everybody below that line who lives on the coast of Alil Nagai, those are your big Parisian, your Florence, Italy, your Parisian cities of, where the world's culture is influenced is by the people in those cities.
So up north is the country?
Yeah. Basically.
Oh, good. We switched positions.
They rose! They rose again!
Well. Alright then. That answers that question.
You might want to pack something more appropriate for travel along with your clothes. I understand looking your best, but there's also things such as, prepared.
She's going to say, "Why, and then she's going to look towards Roman and say, "Right, not allowed to tell the future on mundane situations. Yes, I will pack more appropriately for the. I will pack more appropriately for the future. Or I think it was. I'm sorry. She'd look at Urkus. Urkus was the one who told her to stop telling the future at every second.
Wait, I didn't like the sound of that, but I'll ignore it.
Holy crap! All
right. We should just be on our way.
Let's stop by a shop and get her some food rations. That way she's not starving on our trip.
We have food rations.
Once again, I would like to
point at Cleric.
I know the spell create food and water.
Oh yeah.
And create dumb amounts of food.
Yes,
and
that tastes awful.
Even the water.
Okay,
look,
you know
bland.
Hilpelri is going to join in and say, "Yeah, could you create seasoning too?" I once had this lovely seasoning from the Tide Gate.
I don't think he has the great seasoning.
Tide Gate.
Tristan looks at her for a couple of seconds before he says, "When I joined the army, we were cruel and we liked it."
Back in my day.
You can tell the character of a man by the way he reacts when there's nothing in his stomach but mud.
Yeah, but I don't think what I need to know what my character is like right now. I would. You know what? I'm going to buy my own. I have my rations.
Got nothing for this. So.
I'm going to go buy her rations. How many days travel is it back to the academy?
All right. Let's see.
Or university?
You guys are at Forest Fall. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexes. So 6 times 1.5 is, I don't know, math.
9.
Yeah, that. It is 9 days. It is just under a week's travel on foot.
All right. I'm going to buy 12 days worth of rations.
Oh, by the way, Derek, week in this world is 10 days long. Months are 40 days long. 10 months in a year.
Good to know. Thank you.
Hence the expression, a 10-day.
Alright, so, you
I
buy 20 things of... Oh, okay, you bought 12 things of rations? Alright.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon. Just to prove a point, as we travel to the academy, I'm going to roll a survival check to try and find herbs and spices in there.
I'll help.
You know what?
I will also help.
I will.
I got an assist, so,
only one person.
So can take
the help action.
I will assist Urkus in looking for herbs and spices on his survival check.
Let's double up.
Okay, well, in that case, I got a 19 if I'm not receiving assistance.
Oh, I'm helping.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah, Jetty got a 19. There's no point in me helping.
Yes, there is. Yeah. You can get better.
Yeah, I bumped it up to a 20. That's some assistance right there.
Yeah. Urkus, what if you roll like a 24? You will obviously find the better spices.
I mean, survival is a wisdom-based skill. I don't even have proficiency in it.
How do you have a +6 to it?
I have maxed out wisdom and a stone of good luck.
Wow.
Alright, so
you guys
thinking of
let
that,
me have
Brandon,
a stone of good luck without thinking about it.
Yes.
Thinking about that reminds me, Brandon, those items that I guess we said we wanted before this whole thing started, do we already have them?
Yes, you guys bought those in between campaigns.
I didn't know that.
Good, because I all my stuff in the bag of holding.
I didn't know that.
I was about to say, I've got a ring of protection on my hand and a
I gotta look
now
and see
useless
what it is.
decanter of endless water.
I remember Stone of Good Luck, and
well, it's not
I forgot
useless.
what else I got,
mean,
but...
redundancy is a good thing to have in a lot of cases.
Yeah, too bad we don't have multiple people with healing spells.
And Tristan's at a spell slot, so they'll be like, yeah, oh, you ain't thirsty, bitches.
Or if, for whatever reason, I can't complete a long rest due to, I don't know, maybe I'm poisoned or diseased or insane temporarily, which happened one time.
Man,
Brandon.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just saying, it's good to be prepared. You guys have something nice going on right now. So I want to handle quite a few things in this travel. So it's 9 days, so it's a lot to cover, and I don't want to just...
You said it was 7.
No, it's 9.
You said 9. That's
Yeah,
about 12.
it's 6 tiles. Each tile is 45 miles. So
Okay, I'm off my rocker.
yeah. So for the as you guys start down the road, the
Wait. Before we start,
yes.
I want to shove this ascot into Urkus's chest.
As politely as possible.
No, aggressive. He needs to understand the dire situation that this ascot entails.
Wear this
I'm gonna be like,
for your
look,
life.
this is gonna sound real confusing. I don't want to explain right now. You need to wear this in a visible location.
Okay.
Cool?
Look, I think we've all gone through enough weird stuff to just accept things.
Look, we've got to this point where you accept the ascot, then it gets thrust.
Alright. As Urkus accepts Hipelri's ascot, Urkus is gonna get +1 to his appearance score. So, congratulations.
Yeah.
Hell yeah!
Let's see. I don't remember what Urkus is. Oh, 16! Yeah, that pushes him over the threshold from cute to woo! Guy's kind of charming.
I don't have an appearance score on Housing. I'm gonna roll my appearance score real quick.
Full on bringing on the Vapors appearance score.
Alright.
There. Housing experience score is at 17.
It is not a D20, good sir. It is 3D6 rolled twice. You can choose between an 11 or you can choose between a 13.
Oh, I don't get to roll it?
You can roll it if you want.
Okay. Because none of this sound good. 14! That's better than a 13.
You get to roll it twice and pick the range.
Yeah, you pick what's more appropriate for how you envision your character. So for the travels, when you guys start off going down the
14.
Yeah.
Greater than 13.
When you guys start out going down the road, Pelry is going to suggest that you guys travel straight west first and then south. Doing so will allow you to see a city in a little Nagai called what is this? Old Reldian. It is the center of the faith for Alil Nagai. There is a giant. She explains there's a giant monolith there, a crystal monolith, that as light hits through it, it shines and shows religious scripture, and that it is a once-in-a-lifetime experience seeing it in person. Do you guys want to go that route instead of... The difference is... Hold on, I will draw it out for you. If you're looking at the second map, you'd be going like that. As opposed to a different color line, which I will draw in yellow, as opposed to like that.
How's Zig, since he lives in a little Nagai, has he ever been to that place?
I will let you decide that.
Okay.
It is a very religious city. The lands around it, though, are pretty much barren, other than just the city itself.
How much further is that? Looks like a couple more tiles.
Yeah, it would tack on. It would tack on about 4 days of travel for you guys.
And is this area like a dangerous place, or is it pretty civilized and safe traveling?
Alil Nagai is pretty much the most civilized nation in the world. This is the second place where society started. However, with more civility, the fears of Alil Nagai and Arter Sarai aren't what monsters await in the wilderness, but, what monsters are standing next to you.
Okay, I was going to ask about, like, bandits or, any other beasts we might encounter.
Bandits and highwaymen would be your most likely threats.
I feel like that if we feared for bandits and, threats, we have a fortune teller who will let us know if we're about to walk into danger.
50% of the time, right?
Yeah.
60% of the time.
60%.
We don't know that.
60% of the time, it works
I think
every time.
Roman knows that. Nobody else does. So
I was just curious about the world a little bit, just trying to get some more color on it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I will answer any questions. My DMing style is I let you guys do whatever you want, and I just respond to it. So.
I guess that river is pretty easy to cross. That's not going to be an issue on either path.
Well, how's this going to think that since the fortune teller says it'll be intriguing, it piques my interest enough to go? Because she's obviously seen something that's going to happen over there.
Have you considered she just wants to go sightseeing?
Have you considered that Hazik also just wants to go sightseeing?
Yeah,
as a researcher?
Don't make a thing out of it then. Just say want to go sightseeing.
I'm going to follow the person who can see the future. More study is necessary.
I love how Ramon's answer is. All right,
guys.
So, the decision is to go through Old Reldian.
What the hell?
All right.
You know what? I see experience points on the more dangerous paths.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You know what? We'll let Tristan decide.
Down.
So what? Okay, outline for me real quick. What is the advantage of this dangerous path again? Is it faster?
No, it's
It
not. It's not faster, slower. There's no advantage or disadvantage. It's literally.
Oh, it's longer.
Yeah,
It's definitely.
Oh yeah,
slower.
yeah. It's slower. There's no advantage to it. It's literally. Hey, we're going to the city. This cool thing is right over there. We could go see this cool thing and then head to the city.
What's going on?
Is Hilpelri's
like
whole
cool
argument. Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Is there anything my character is looking for, or am I just along for the ride, or how do I plan this?
Jessica, for the character you're controlling, there is a character I listed at the start of the session named Effie. She works for the university. She is the apprentice of the person the party is looking for, and she has currently on her a magical artifact that almost caused the destruction of the neighboring kingdom, and she has research on a type of magic that a type of soul magic that is very dangerous. She is going to deposit those in the vault of the university, as the university is a pretty neutral Switzerland force inside the world, as far as guarding magical secrets and ensuring things like this don't get into the wrong hands. Jessica is along to ensure those get deposited in the vault and don't get handed off to somebody else.
Did you say if I know where Effie is, or are we looking for her? What's
Effie is
She's
with
right here,
you.
right beside me.
Yeah, the person you guys are looking for is Effie's master named Dila Winrona.
Oh, and she's one of the NPCs with us?
Yes, Effie's with you.
Okay.
Dila is not. Dila has been missing for 2 months.
Okay, gotcha.
Tila is MIA.
Best way to think about Dila, Winston Churchill meets Dumbledore.
Nice. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I'll do whatever Effie wants to, and I'm just gonna bring in by her.
So, like, super British.
Maximum British.
So,
British intensifies.
I guess I'll take the moment then to be like, to ask Effie. Effie, if we go there, it's gonna take, like, we're gonna lose a day or two. We're not exactly transporting fruit.
BRB,
Time
guys,
might
my
be of
computer's
the
acting up.
essence.
Okay.
I do have another question. That's okay. This thing that Effie has, is it known? Are people looking for us? Are we like on the run, or are we assuming we're safe?
You're assuming you're safe. From what you guys know, people don't know about you. People didn't know this thing really even still existed until... and it was the party that discovered it was still a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I want to be on high alert then.
Yeah.
Phil and she'll, just like will be pretty paranoid about this because it seems like a big deal.
Yes.
So I want to just kind of keep watch, behind us, stay next to Effie, and just kind of shadow her as much as I can.
The item in question is a dagger that rips the souls out of people and consumes them for magical power.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
That sounds normal and not evil.
Brandon.
Yes.
I guess I wasn't here because I joined in, got to kind of the last second. I see we have someone new. I have no idea what's going on.
Oh,
Derek.
yeah.
New.
Derek will be joining you guys in the future. I saw his application on Roll20 and was just like, that seems like a cool person to play D&D with, and invited him, but I don't ever check Roll20 until like 2 hours before the session. So I told him he can roll up in the future, and if he wanted to sit in tonight, he could just listen or control an NPC. So,
okay.
And Jessica barely ever talks, and I was just like, here you go!
Oh, cool.
She's good at punching things and agreeing with Tristan.
Okay, so he is the right eye
Oh,
of
she
Sauron.
also sees everything, but never tells anybody about it.
She's the right eye of Sauron. Roman is the left.
Yeah.
Give
Basically.
me the impression this is an evil party.
Oh
no! No. As you can see from my Discord training,
just the ranger.
And the soul-eating dagger.
Yeah,
Well, that's different.
Yeah, this group is actually very good morally. They have been working for the best interests of of the last nation they were in. They worked to stop this dagger from getting into circulation, and then now they're working to, put it away and then find the person who keeps the peace among the nations.
Except for the ranger.
Yeah.
Look, I was just thinking, I don't want to die, and ended up doing good. So hey.
All right. So Roman is going to mention that time is of the essence, and Effie is going to run her hand through her hair and say, I'd like to agree with that, but you really can't kill Winrona. And she's going to look towards Hilpelri and say, she's alive, right? Hilpelri is going to look at Tristan, and then back to Effie, and then nod.
That's not at all shady.
Mm-hmm.
I see what she did there. She was foreseeing Tristan looking in on her, and then telling us she's okay, but we just avoided the whole process of her getting in trouble. Nice job.
You did.
Maybe.
So, with this, I guess we've decided that we're going to go take the scenic route.
That is completely your guys' decision.
I think that's what we're leaning towards.
All right.
Like it.
So, I expected you guys to beeline toward, ignore all of Hilpelri's suggestions, and beeline straight towards straight towards Sky's Reach. But anyways, looks like you guys are going. I know, right? Looks like you guys are going to Old Reldon.
No, we're gonna loop back around. We're going back to Arter Sarai.
Yeah, and once again, this is a lot of days to cover, because the last campaign happened in the span of about 2 to 3 weeks, of in-game time. So,
and a third of that will be covered getting to this point.
Yeah,
or getting to the university.
So once again, there's some more things I want to ask that I just don't want to glance over. Tristan. At any time on these travels, is Tristan going to use the mirror for more than just looking at his family?
Well, I mean, when you put it like that...
When you give me the option...
I mean, you've got the Batman surveillance. Is there anybody Tristan wants to look at?
Brock Brooks.
Yeah, because I'm keeping track of all of this for, other campaigns in case these people die. I'll come back and tell you, oh yeah, Tristan saw them dead, or something like that.
His interest in, no, he would not at all, for any reason, ever look into what Brock was doing, because he knows that he would just be disappointed.
Why Google the answer to a question you know?
Oh, by the way, Derek, Tristan has another magical artifact, a very powerful one that breaks through any types of wards or concealments, and is able to scry on people.
Okay.
It also drives him crazy.
And makes him super hungry.
So who were the people, JD?
He's gonna keep an eye on Draylon Madison because, of course.
All right.
But, like,
he might be dead soon.
Yeah, possibly.
But like, not to an extreme extent where people might assume things.
Yeah.
Like, maybe once every 3 days, unless at one point he sees Draylon is up to no good. That old Madison boy is up to no good again. That sort of thing.
Alright, just
Madison.
Just in general, I need you to, I will allow you to make a stealth check, or a check of your choice. It can be stealth, it can be charisma based, of just, either telling your party, I'm gonna go walk in the woods real quick, or, hide when you're looking through the mirror. As far as I'm assuming, Tristan's still not going to tell anyone he's charged it.
Well, you're right about that.
Alright, now do I, as Jessica, do I trust everybody? Or am I just here because they're with Effie?
You trust the shit out of Tristan.
You trust the shit out of Tristan.
She's more or less in my pocket. Not in like a creepy way or anything.
In a totally pedophilia way.
as the dad, she didn't ask for, but everybody always wanted.
Okay, I was just wondering if I would be snooping on him
for a good amount of time was Adventure Dad.
Yeah, it was Adventure Dad.
All right, pick a roll, JD, and go ahead and do it.
A roll?
Yes.
So that we don't notice you sneaking away to look at the mirror.
Yes, it can be charisma based, trying to lie to the party, or it can be a stealth check.
Just sneak away.
I would advise charisma checks.
Hey, Tristan is amazing at stealth. He has like 0, which is good because he has a -1 in his modifier.
1. I improved my dex.
It's true, his dex is improved.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So he has a, what, +1 now in stealth?
JD, you're Tristan, right?
I don't...
Yes.
I don't know that I would need to roll for it. I could just say, I'm gonna go take care of nature calls.
Insight. I don't believe that.
Hold it! We've been in this D&D campaign for so long now, and you've just now started urinating?
True. I have never heard you urinate. We've been in this campaign for over a year now. I am curious.
I thought we were friends and I didn't know this fundamental fact about you.
3 fundamental facts about Tristan you won't believe.
He's evil. He lies.
Stupid BuzzFeed.
He urinates 50 times a day.
An excessive amount.
The reason why I'm asking you to roll that check is because each day on your guys' travels, Hipelri is going to attach herself to one of you in kind of the annoying way of like, what's that? Why do you walk like that? Oh, where'd that scarf come from? Oh, that's a cool item you have. Hey, can you tell me more about that? And
so, Brandon, that's a very intriguing fact because Housek's going to be doing that exact same thing to Hipelri. It's like, that's cool. How's your powers work? What happened to this? What happened to this? Can you see this far?
All right, this work? And that's why I'm saying, like, 7 days of travel is a lot of stuff I'm trying to make sure we don't skip by. So.
Well, sure, but also, who's going to follow me after I have a spade in one hand and whatever passes for toilet paper in the other? And I'm going to go take a dump.
Roll me a deception check with advantage.
With advantage.
Housek would.
Housek would.
Yeah.
It would be deception then, because I may or may not actually be going to go take a dump.
I mean, other people don't have a reason to, follow or disbelieve you, but on the day that Hipelri is following you, she says she'll tag along. She's never taken a dump like this, and would like to learn how.
I'm going to look at her and say, pardon me, but I am a married man. That's where the sentence ends.
Yeah, I was just trying to decide if I wanted to roleplay this out since there's so much content. Yeah, she's going to respond to you and say, oh, yeah, I'm not interested. I still plan on joining the Risen one day, We have to forsake family, we have to forsake oaths, romance, all of that, so, you don't have to worry about me.
My pants are going down, and I don't want you to look at my dick.
That's one way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, she nods and says, okay, I'll turn around. She points at your shovel as you're holding it and says, where'd you get it? I've seen nicer ones crafted in Marbleport.
He's going to look at the spade that he's had ever since he joined the army. Be like, what's wrong with my spade?
Man would have to thick and thin.
Seen some battles.
Sometimes more thick than thin.
It's
the rule doesn't come out
through bands and bloods.
As you guys, this is going to continue for quite some time of Tristan just, walking away and telling her, like, seriously, don't stop. And she's like, no, it's fine. It's like, I've already seen when you... Yeah, at many times she's going to almost tell your future and say, I've already wait, I'm not allowed to say that, and, just keep...
I've already seen your dick, in a couple days.
There's nothing...
It's not that impressive, you don't have to worry about it. It's all...
Anyways, when Tristan's finally in the act of pretend pooping...
In heavy quotation marks.
Yeah. She's going to ask, so, why haven't you told them that you can use that thing yet?
Tristan's going to look at her and say, do you know what a tactical advantage is?
I'm gonna roll her an insight check. Surprisingly, She is.
doesn't?
No, she is going to say yes. There is one school of the Risen that teaches combat. She is going to nod and say, "Oh yeah, yeah. I researched it. I researched specifically Lidora's tactics and the first shattering. But military advantage is where my mind thinks, not in individuals."
Tristan's going to nod and say, "Right. Well, you see, with this thing, I have one, and I'd like to keep that information from as many people as possible, so as to leave a smaller number of leaks, so to speak."
She nods and says, "Oh, are you gonna attack them? One of them are gonna attack me. It's gonna be quite something. Oh wait, sorry." And she stops
off
herself.
my shoulders.
He continues to stare at her like, "I can't believe I'm having this conversation." He'll say, "No, but in the event that one of them falls into enemy hands, let's say, it may be advantageous for a smaller number of people to know about this."
She nods and begins to look over Tristan's shoulder as he's not peeing, and says, "Ooh, can I see how it works? Can I try it?"
No, you have to spend a fair amount of time actually getting this thing to function.
She nods. And if Tristan goes through with the scrying on Draylin, he is that day he scries on Draylin. He is going to see Draylin meeting and talking with people. There is a young, or actually
Skywalker?
Fucking Lance.
No. I'm trying to think how to describe this person, and Draylin has a what Tristan would assume is a bodyguard with him. While she has the posture and demeanor of a bodyguard, she wears a slave's collar and is about the age of Jessica. On her waist, though, is a sword that is the metal is constantly heated, whether it's being wielded or not. Tristan, for the duration that he I think scrying's like 10 minutes. For the whole 10 minutes, sees just Draylin having a conversation. I don't think the sensor has sound. Was there anybody else he was going to scry on for this journey? And then I will skip over to the other people I need to ask stuff.
Scrying says you can see and hear.
Okay, you can see and hear? Okay. Artur Sarai is in a transitional period right now, as all of the government, all of the leaders of the government were killed by the dagger. Draylin is trying to position himself into a point where he can be the one of the number 2 people, selecting who will be the... He's trying to get appointed to the council who will select the next leader.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't at all sound like he's there yet when you're talking, or when you're scrying on him. That is very nice to know and keep in mind for scrying. Was there anybody else you wanted to use the mirror on?
Hmm.
If you want to take a minute to think about it, I'm just gonna jump over and thought through anything else I need the party to answer. All right.
Yeah, I'm checking my notes.
Okay. At any point, Tristan can also attempt to cast a spell on Winrona if he wants to see anything beyond what Hilpelry described. For the rest of the party, let's see. Urkus. So since you guys are going out of your way, for Urkus, just one more day to the north, he could go and see the Forest Witch that his father suggested.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm aware. So what are we doing tomorrow?
No, I've seen enough. I've seen Hellpower.
Alrighty.
And I am not letting Halzik know this.
Damn it!
But how much do you like your new scarf? I'm sorry, ascot.
It's very
cuttings.
nice.
Thank you.
I think that is everything important that happens between the party members on the road. And would Roman explain anything more about the ascot on any of the days?
Probably not, unless Urkus was finally just like, look, why do I have to wear this? I'd probably cave, but...
Watch it be just before it happens.
He kills her! Oh, by the way!
Oh.
Alright, on your way crossing that river, what town is that? Let me look at my notes real quick, and we will fast track through the rest of this fast travel. And JD, feel free to interrupt me and, tell me if there's anybody else.
Yeah, do I know about the Lord of Shadows?
Yes, you know loosely of him. What's her face? Not Kadam. Or actually, yeah, Kadam did tell you guys about him. She kidnapped the sage.
I on that guy.
Let's see, what's Scrying? Don't you have to have seen him or secondhand? You heard of the target. There you go. This guy. I'm rolling percentage dice of if you see him doing anything important or not. Alright, so I just assumed the Draylen one was the first target on the earliest day of scrying. We are handling 7 days right now. Which day does Tristan want to do this scrying on?
The third, because it's the closest to turd.
Okay. The third day of scrying, you are going to Tristan has never seen this guy before. The mirror is going to show a person on it with long black hair and in what appears to be completely foreign clothing for Arter Sarai. He knows this guy operates inside of Arter. The man is wearing not robes, but a tunic that has a long blue apron kind of attached to the tunic, going off the front and back of it. And he is also wearing blue pants underneath the tunic. I don't think Tristan would be able to place where this fashion marks him from. But nonetheless, Tristan is very clearly going to see him talking, having a discussion with a what appears to be a Lil Nagai general. In the distance, Tristan can see the burned remains of a pillaged town. Before the person Tristan scrying on looks up at the sensor, and he begins casting a spell. Magical darkness surrounds the area. The sensor can pierce through wards. However, the sight it shows you is just the black cloud. He can move it and look around.
It's gotta be black.
Or actually, the mirror is in control of the sensor. So let's see. Targeting the creature, you can choose a location you've seen before. When you do, the sensor appears at that location and doesn't move. You can see in here through the sensor. The sensor moves with the target, remaining 10 feet. See in... Alright, yeah, so the sensor just stays pointed at him and his cloud of magical darkness. It appears that he... was aware he was being scryed on by something.
I picked up on that.
You can still hear him though, right?
Good as we thought it was.
Yes, he can hear him. However, if they're smart enough to know they're being scryed on, they're also smart enough to know, hey, let's stop talking about important things. From the discussion you hear, though, the man is a man by the name of Eldrick Bertolf, and he is leading a successful...
I'll just tell you what I told him.
He is leading a successful campaign right now, military campaign through Ardor Serai.
I couldn't help myself.
Hey, it's all good, man. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying earlier. Oh, I was looking up this town you guys passed through. Alright. So, that's everything I needed to handle that immediately comes to mind. I probably forgot some things and will remember them later. Alright.
So basically what I learned is this guy dresses funny and has connections with some of the higher-ups of the Lil Nagai.
Yes. He is also in charge of that cult you guys fought one time. The one that Jessica doesn't like. Anyways, moving on. You guys get to a town called Amirian, which is right here in yellow. It's that little dot, and I should probably be more precise when I'm drawing. You guys get to a town called Amirian. It is the first major town you guys stop through that has a population over 50,000. Traveling this whole way, you guys have been passing through small villages in small towns. I don't have anything marked on the map that's under 50,000. Forestfall is, you know, one of those places with only a couple hundred people living in it. Amirian is one of the major cities here, and the first thing you guys are going to notice as you step into Amirian is that there are signs pointing towards Old Reldian, going straight north. And, I'm sorry, you guys aren't going to notice that. The Eyes of Sauron, the Jessica and Roman are going to notice that. There are signs pointing to the town you guys are traveling to. From Amirian, straight north. Otherwise, this is a pretty major city. As far as trade goes, it's located right on a river, and there are lots of trade routes that head north through this town to Alyan. Yeah. Do you guys want to do anything in the city or continue on your path?
Excuse me as I die. I want to...
Oh, roll me an insight check for Hauzik. Hauzik's from this nation too. You have...
I rolled a 17.
You are going to beat Hupelri's deception check as you're in Amirian, and Hauzik is going to also have some small bit of knowledge of Alil Nagai and know that Old Reldin is also straight north.
What's in Old Reldrin?
That is the town that Hupelri told you guys that the gift is in, the giant crystal monolith.
Oh, I thought that's where we were headed. Where are we right now?
You guys are here we go. Delete all this stuff so you guys can see the map clearly. You guys are right here at the black X, or I'm sorry, black circle, because I missed the line. Old Reldin is the blue dot. Hupelri told you guys it is the purple dot.
I'm going to turn to the group and go, no, it's not. It's, further north. Like, I'm good with maps. I can tell that we have not quite made it there yet.
So what's the relationship with Hillary? Are we, like, friends with her? Have we known her long?
You guys just met her.
Okay. We are her escorts, so that she doesn't get kidnapped.
Yeah, she's going to point to the city on the map that she pointed out as Old Reldin, and say, no, but this place is, this is where we want to go. Trust me. You can roll insight.
I thought we were going to go see the crystal monolith.
Jesus Christ, no wonder Josiah can see everything.
Yeah, Hauzik is going to read it as Hupelri is just awful with maps. Josiah is going to know that this lady is very educated, and she is likely lying because there's something else in that city she wants to see.
Alright, I'm gonna go like tug on Tristan's shoulder and kind of relay that information to him. Quietly, just to him, because I'm kind of, a shy dragonborn, right?
Timid.
Yeah.
Timid. Good
Well,
word.
I mean, she's not really timid. She just seldom ever speaks up. Yeah. If anybody asks her what her opinion is or anything, she, gives it.
She's like,
But
she's not
you gotta
shy,
roll
she's
high
more
your perception.
really stone-faced and doesn't talk a lot.
She's, once again, very subservient. Just not spoken to unless, or not, she just doesn't have the mind of, oh, this is what I want to do and what I want to say, and go through and like, hey, Josiah, what's that? Oh, that's this. Thank you.
Gotcha.
You're welcome.
I guess for things like this, I'm gonna play it just as Tristan, my person, and just tell him what I think and that she's full of it and there's something she's hiding, and just see if he wants me to announce it. If he wants to announce it, get his opinion on things.
Well, I will continue to argue over the map.
Tristan will look towards Jessica and shake his head and tap at his temple.
Okay, and I'll just kind of glare at Pelry a little bit, just kind of size her up and see if I can, I don't know, maybe kind of read a little bit more about her.
Did 17 get me anything, Brandon?
17, yeah, noticing that insight as more and more people start to argue with her, her argument kind of falls apart, and Roman is going to know, yeah, like, wait, they're signs? And Roman can read and say, yeah, Old Reldon's to the north, like, it's far to the north, like, that is an additional 2 days out of our path. Or that is, I'm sorry, 2 tiles. That is 3 days out of our path.
So, what do?
She is going to look at the budding anger in the party and respond, fine. This town, it's North Shore. It's where the current queen is from. I thought maybe if I went there, I could plead with the Risen there and possibly get a chance to take the test again.
So you want to go to where you ran away from, or you want to go directly to the headquarters of the people who's trying to capture you?
She shakes her head and says, no, the Risen are stationed all over the country. Anybody can become the next queen. This is specifically the town she was from. I'm thinking maybe the school there would be better at considering my application process.
Out of character, I'm pretty sure this is truth, but I think just like I would want to kind of question this a little bit. Should I roll insight again, or?
Yeah, you can roll insight on her.
Okay.
Well,
it's not going for me. Oh, sorry. Any of them? First one?
Yeah.
They're all 20s.
Yeah.
They're all exceptional.
Jessica is going to know this woman ran and made a deal with a primordial evil spirit in order to know if she has the slight chance of joining the Risen. It seems that if this is a country of, where the queen is from, or the town where the queen is from, she's probably obsessed. It's probably truth.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just kind of relay that to Tristan that, she's probably telling the truth, but I don't like her very much anymore.
Howzik seen no benefit academically from going to this place. It's just going to be like, no, we can either go see the crystal monolith and research the history in this town, or we could just go back to the university where you will definitely, 1, be safe, 2, probably have more influence, probably have someone with more influence there than anywhere else. With people from the university, Mayfish University, than anywhere else.
She exhales and says, fine, let's go see the stupid religious rock thing.
This was what you wanted.
Yeah, Effie is going to put a hand on her chest and in kind of like a playful gasp of like, that's so sacrilegious for a potential candidate for the Risen to say.
Oh!
Burn!
Yeah, Hilpelri is going to look like super shocked, put her hands over her mouth and say, I didn't mean it. Of the goddess, work and grow and be vigilant, and at night in our rest, Effie starts waving her hands and says, don't go reciting the wills to me. Those aren't even the right ones. Pelry is going to look to the side, and Effie's going to say, and that's why you failed the test.
It has nothing to do with your magical prowess. It has actually more to do with the amount of studying you did.
particularly in religion.
Fun fact, Housing also didn't study religion very well.
Tristan, the cleric.
Tristan...
The wrong religion!
Yeah, I was going to say, Tristan the heathen cleric.
Yes, but religion is a skill that denotes your knowledge in religion in general, not just one that you know.
Yeah, if you're a cleric, your god tells you everything you need to know. You don't need to study.
Hey, roll that religion check. I just know it'll go poor.
Hey, God.
I just
godless man.
On a 10, the Wills are the biggest religion in the world. Like, that is the be-all, end-all of organized faith. Tristan's going to know very clearly the saying she was trying to say was, hold the wills in dusk and dawn, of the sun work and grow, of the moon be vigilant and respite. She butchered it. She butchered all 3 sentences, mixing up every word of each one of them.
Okay, so...
It is the most common saying in the world.
For Hapelri and her expulsion from the school, is that something she told us, or would we know that as a fact?
Something she told us.
Yeah, she told you guys. She tried to join the Risen. They denied her, and she fled to the forest to see if she would ever be allowed in the faction.
Okay, I feel like all I'm doing so far is rolling insight, but can I kind of question her the history of whether she's actually sincere about the path she told us, or that's a lie as well? Can I roll insight on that? Yes,
you can, and if you decide to join this party, that is what you're going to learn about Jessica. She is your people machine. Of you just point her at people and it's like, tell us about him.
She's the lie detector.
It's not coming up like last time. I'm gonna wait a second and see if it's just laggy. But I clicked it.
Okay.
Nothing's coming up. There it is.
There it goes.
Damn!
Alright.
I'd just like to point out that I have the exact same insight bonus as Jessica does.
I love that how JD and Robert put their characters put together, make one Jessica.
Oh, hold up now. I'm only 3 points away from a Jessica. We're a better Jessica.
I can cast spells, so
I just want to know if she's honest about her history with the school, if that's something she was sincere about. Because if she messed up the wills that bad, then it sounds like total BS to me.
She's also panicky.
Yeah. Jessica inciting that is gonna be able to tell that it seems that she earnest and by the way, this kind of requires me to describe the scenery around you guys outside the gates of Emirian. Lil Nagai has very structured towns. This is a walled-off city, and in every town that you guys have passed through, there has been a single member, or rather, at least one member of the Risen there. They are every arm of the government. And Jessica is going to be able to tell that Hopelry seems very earnest in her, what she's talking about. But also along with each of these Risen members, there's also been one priest of the Wills in at least every single town you guys have passed through. Just as important as the Risen are to the government, so is the religion. So she could be the smartest person in the world, and if she has, no stance in the faith, it would be likely that, she was or she has no knowledge of the faith. It would be likely that she'd be overlooked.
Okay, makes sense.
So
there's actually a this is just something I'm saying for the stream. There's actually a test within your guys's within the player folder, which I will go and find and post for you guys. For anybody who wants to join the Risen faction of questions, they have to fill out. The only player that that passed it, or rather, I guess that even bothered taking it after they saw it, was Arabella, and she barely passed the test. So,
to be fair, until recently, I didn't have the right parts.
Yes, true.
So,
Tristan
Anyway.
would just fill in all the blanks with Gale Song is the superior religion.
So this resin, are they?
how's Nick is going to?
Just right over. Hashtag fake news.
How's Nick is going to say? All right, well, let's continue the crystal monolith, and I'm going to teach you the joys of studying, if you want to pass this test for the next go around. And then, like, force himself to be her tutor on the way to the crystal
Almost
monolith.
said, shut up, Brock.
It's
Why?
right?
What?
It's
I'm playing nothing like
instinct
Brock.
at this point.
I'm playing nothing like Brock.
Nothing like Brock. Sure, buddy.
All right.
Can I roll an insight on that? No.
So, you guys are going to avoid Emirian and head straight north to Old Reldian. This is
She's getting a crash course in religion from textbooks that I picked up while we were in that town.
Yeah, this is much further out of the way than you guys originally anticipated, by the way. So, yes, Old Reldian is on the border. It is another river town. In the distance here, let me see what stupid city that is, because my brain just doesn't remember. Oh, Brelian. Okay, cool. In the distance, or no, actually, no, there's a whole tile there. You guys can't see 45 miles away. Cool. So, Old Reldian is a river town. It is walled off in inside of here. It appears that almost the entire town is made up of different temples and churches. There is a Sunyith monastery here, and let me check the drive to see if I have any pictures of Old Reldian. Let's see. Sunyith, Westwind, Shadowtop. Oh, Brelian. No. Sad day. Alright, I will get this page made if you guys spend more than a session here for next campaign. I've got a doc of, like, what all the major cities look like. I was like, yeah, that one's at the top of the world. They'll never be there. But anyways, you guys are outside of Old Reldian. All these cities in Little Nagai have gates. In the center of the town, there is the main temple. Oh, well, you guys got to walk in the town first. The gate.
And we're marching. Sorry.
Oh no, it's cool. The gate for Old Reldian is made up of complete marble. There is an entire 15-foot white stone wall around this city. It's hard for me to, like, give information of, like, what is and what your characters know, so I just keep pausing of just like, yeah, they wouldn't know that one, anyways, once you guys pass through the gates of Old Reldian, there are, each of the streets is named after a prophet in the religion. You guys are on Philesra Way. The entire city is built in a circle around a tower in the center of town, which you guys can assume to be where the gift is held. People are moving back and forth in every direction. Where other cities, you notice there have been lots of merchants and members of different factions, primarily the Risen. Here, it seems this town is entirely made up of Sunyith members dressed in dressed in gold and white.
So the Risen is its own religion as well as like a government structure.
I posted it. I posted it on the general tab of Discord, and I'll post it in Roll20 so you can see. I
just read through the wiki page, and it doesn't say anything about religion so much. It's just mostly about the government and the order.
Yeah. If you read the Ililnagai tab, which you can click from there, that's the country you guys are in. They are not their own religion. They are basically the Risen. The leader of Ililnagai said, "Hey, succession, or passing on the throne through blood is stupid. Because what if my child's an idiot?"
Right.
And instead she created a meritocracy, so the Risen completely handle, who is going to be, who harbors the values of Ililnagai enough to be the next queen. It is an entire preparatory faction.
Okay, the given wills.
Yeah. The Sunyith is, the Sunyith...
Zealots.
Yeah. And not zealots! Well, they are. Never mind.
As we're
About
making
as
it,
even-handed as Tristan.
as we're making it into town, can I be quizzing? I forgot her name already.
Hipelri?
Can I quiz Hipelri on the religion to see how well she's doing now? See if she's gotten better.
Alright, yes, you can. Are there specific questions Halzik's going to be asking, or...?
I asked if I could grab some textbooks and religious stocks at the previous town, since it was a big trade area, so that I could use that to help her study. So she's obviously weak in that area, and that's probably the reason why she failed to be queen.
Well, to join the Risen.
To join the Risen, to be queen.
Oh, I just can't wait to be queen.
Right, you don't know what her ultimate goal is.
You guys did not stop at Emirian enough to merit going inside the town and trading.
I thought we walked in and was like, oh wow, this thing's bustling. And then she was like, let's go south. And I was like, but we need to go north.
No, it was at the signs headed towards the town that you guys noticed that. You guys were at the crossroads and was just, and Jessica, Roman, and then eventually Halzik saw the signs and was like, Old Reldian north and Emirian that way. And Hipelri was like, alright, let's keep going that way. And everybody was like, wait, Old Reldian's straight north of here. It's not the direction you told us.
Okay. No, I was just going to ask her generic questions that everybody should know, and for her to repeat those 3 sentences again to see if she could do it correctly this time.
Alright, give me a religion check for Halzik. How much has he been paying attention?
Oh, not a lot. Not at all. He probably had the same tutors Brock did.
Yeah, you're gonna meet the 10 check for the first chant, and that is and Halzik is going to know that dumbed down version of the chant. Hold the wills and dust and dawn, of the sun work and grow, of the moon be vigilant and respite. He's also going to know there's more to it than that, but he can't remember them. That's just the most common part of it.
That's the part she stumbled on too, wasn't it?
That's the part everybody knows. That's like fill in.
Matters.
Yeah, fill in name.
Can I roll a religion check just to see if Urgus knows it? Not gonna say
Yeah,
anything.
Urkus would have advantage because Urkus is from Ililnagai, but also he's probably been somewhat religious as his father is.
We'll see.
Oh man,
21.
Slightly. Oh wait.
Yeah,
Instead of
You
advantage.
get advantage. You get 21.
I was looking at the 12.
21. Urkus would know the priest back in Forest Fall led this chant daily. It is a daily chant, and the entire chant goes, "I must prove every day that I am the light that fosters life. I am guided by the wills which I hold true. In the sun I serve and grow, and of the moon I shall be vigilant in my respite. I sow my seeds here so that all may reap a world greater." It is something that, as a kid, Urkus had to say a lot when the priest was teaching classes in his town. Once he got older, he's like, "Thank God I don't have to say that anymore."
I'm not religious, but I know things.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Roman Drake School. You know what?
If you want to share that with the party, it is on
okay,
the wiki,
so-
and I will copy and paste it for you.
Wait, it is on the wiki? I looked there, I didn't see it.
It's under the Wills of Ililia.
Wait, which part is it? Oh, the daily chant of the will.
Yes.
Alright, what was the part that, Halsey stopped at?
It is the middle of it. It's a dumbed down version of it. Hold the wills in dusk and dawn. Of the sun, work and grow. Of the moon, be vigilant and respite. It's just the basics of it. Of just like, what's the thing? Well, you know you're supposed to do this during the sun, this during the moon, and
Okay.
that other thing. So,
Okay, I guess after he says it, I'll just repeat the whole thing.
all right. Pelry's going to make an. Pelry's going to make an intelligence check to remember it and roll in that one. So, to answer your question, Jordan, no. She does not remember anything you've been teaching her. Actually,
How sick was Brock's tutor?
yeah, as you ask her that, she is picking her nose and hides it. Says what? And stumbles through it a second time, completely butchering it.
The
Saying,
Luffy pinky in the nose thing.
of the moon, I hold to the wills, and I'm vigilant in the sun and dusk, and I work and grow and make the world better. Yep.
I'm going to hit her over the head with my book, and just be like a good smack, but not one to like actually hurt her, and just be like, "You're never going to get into the risen this way. You need to study properly."
Yeah, she's going to take the lesson to heart and head. She is going to attempt to memorize it again, repeating the chant, still butchering it, but getting slightly better.
I'll tell her, like, maybe you should take this time that we're taking to take you to the university to brush up on what you need to know, so that when you do apply, you'll be prepared, properly prepared, and not have to go to a very dangerous place. We'll just say that, just to find out if you're gonna make it or not.
Oh, okay, yeah, I get what you're saying. I thought you were saying something else for a minute.
I don't want to know what you were saying, but I kind of do.
No, so, as you guys are standing, on Philezra Way of, Emir, or of Old Reldian, Effie's going to point towards the, tower in the center of town and say, "Well, at least let's see what we came here to see so we can get back on the road."
Yeah, ooh, a rock with light words. That's nice.
I'm very curious about it. Piqued my curiosity enough.
Alright. You guys are going to get into the get into the front door of this tower, and this is less of an actual structure and more of just a wall around it. The tower only rises about 6 stories into the sky, and there are some buildings in town that shadow or that are taller than it, but all of the buildings in the center of town are specifically 1 story. There is no building as you guys are walking that goes over 2 stories here. When you get to the central tower, it is more of an outside type of experience, as this there are no doors on this tower, or all the passageways are completely open arches, and there are 4 of them there's 4 of them, 1 on each side of the building. And once you guys walk inside, the center of the building is completely open to the sky. And I need to record what day you guys get here, so that's gonna affect this.
I'm also assuming that what time of day affects what script appears in there.
Yes. Alright, so you guys get here at the end of those 7 days of travel that we accounted for, so it is the 17th of Priestess. Let me record that, because I need that for later. It is the 17th of Priestess. Alright. As you guys are walking through the archway of this tower, there are 2 guards in golden armor standing outside each of these. Standing outside each entranceway. They hold up a hand, specifically stopping Effie, and they have great swords on their back. The first one speaks up, saying, "Terai are not allowed inside of the gift." The one pulls out his sword and says, "Terai are not allowed inside of a Lil Nagai." A scene starts to stir as the various religious members around you start looking at the 2 guards about to fight Effie.
Are there only 2 guards in the area?
There are only 2 guards. There are only 2 guards servicing this entrance as official guards. There are a multitude of Sun Yith members here dressed in a similar fashion. As Effie cracks her neck, getting ready for a fight.
I wanted to ask a question first.
Yes.
Does her being like one of Winrona's faithful followers give her immunity in this country? Seeing this is where Mathis University is.
Yes, specifically, Terai have immunity while they're at the university.
So what about the country? Lil Nagai, this is where the university is located.
Yeah,
only the university.
Yeah, Terai don't have immunity within the country. They are hunted all across the country.
I know, but I was like, does she specifically have Winrona's protection?
Do you want to bring that up?
Yes, if I know that to be a fact.
Yes, Housick would know that that there are very few individuals protected under a decree with a former Sky Queen from years ago that that Winrona can allow to move throughout the country. Effie is one of those people.
Then, yes, Housick will bring that up. I was like, she's a special kind of Terai. She has permission from Winrona to be here.
My Sharona.
Effie's going to look at you and say, "Don't ruin my chances to crack some skulls of the Sun Yith." They're going to the one that drew a sword is going to put it back on his back and say, "Headmistress Dila Winrona."
The very same. We're from the university.
And he's going to look over to Effie and say, "You're her apprentice, the famous one she always keeps around." Effie is going to give him a very haughty scoff of yeah, of course. The man is going to grab Effie forcefully by the wrists, making a grapple check against her. She's going to roll a oppose acrobatics check, and she's going to fail that. As he grabs her and starts tugging her forward, and he says, "Come with us. There's private church business we need to that needs to be discussed."
Whoa! Can't just take our vampire.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to jump in the comment on this one.
Yeah, how's it also gonna be like, whoa, you're not taking her.
So basically, all of us, all at the same time, are like, "Hold up, pal."
Whoa, I think you miscounted. There's like 7 of us and 2 of you.
I don't want to jump out of like Jessica's character, but knowing how important
I mean,
Effie is
yeah,
carrying,
this
would I just jump
character.
in combat with a sword.
Wait, say it again.
Knowing how important the items that Effie has, would Jessica jump into combat immediately, or is she more reserved and would she want to maybe talk out the situation? Maybe
she'll wait for instructions.
Okay.
Well, Jessica as a character, when nobody is looking, is very willing to break the rules. If I was controlling her right now, I believe she'd try and sneak away from the party and follow Effie, as she has done that in the past, tailing members of the party and always acting on her suspicions when she thinks nobody's paying attention to her.
Okay, it just seems like what Effie has is super important to me.
Yeah,
and I don't have any stealth, so I didn't think of stealth as a first, path to go to.
You could try and steal the lead box the dagger is in off her waist.
Okay, yeah, if I know where the items are, I don't have sleight of hand either, but I guess I could go for that.
Alright, roll me the check.
That's not bad. Is that the only thing that's important, is the box?
She has some books in her pack, but Jessica cares significantly less about those. The guards are both going to roll perception against you, and Effie is going to feel Jessica take the box off of her waist as this commotion is happening and everybody's stepping forward. She's going to look back and nod at Jessica. And also Roman notices.
Of course, Roman.
Yeah.
You get a fresh thumbs up.
Thank you.
Jessica has a lead box with Ryrend in it. The guards don't seem to care about the party's protests. These guys also look probably out of the Sun Yith member, Sun Yith works in orders, and each order has a specialist in charge of something. These guys look very, very specialized in a fight.
It's a real shame that we take all of them.
I mean, if it's going to boil down to a fight, I can take them.
They're going to specialize in catching these hands.
Specialize in
like that.
Sword in their throat.
Does anyone want to say anything, or You guys.
Yeah, we all said, "Whoa! Don't steal our vampire."
Yeah, and their response was walking away.
Yeah, I want to summon my pack halberd, slam it on the ground behind them, and be like, "Look, we said nobody takes her."
I feel like this is the moment where I'm going to be like, well, that's how we're doing this. Cool.
As you do that.
Also, can I use that as an intimidation check?
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
Aww, sadness. I rolled an 8.
Yeah, these guys' job these guys' job is.
I don't think either of those are correct sentences.
Yeah, I know, right? Their job is. Oh, there we go. Their job is to protect this monolith, and this is like if you wanted to hurt the given wills, like if you wanted to do something bad to the people across the entire world that follow this religion, you break, attack, or do something to the thing that gives the wills. Like if there were people like to protect this, you want your best people protecting this. This is like the holy temple of Jerusalem to these people. But anyways, they are not at all shaken by that 8. As you slam it down and say that out loud, they're going to turn back towards the party and say, the church deals openly in all matters, but this one we are not allowed to. He looks back to Effie and says, it's pertaining the disappearance of your mistress.
And I'm not allowed to go either. I'm also a member of the university.
Effie is going to shake her head and try and snatch her hand out of this guard's grip, which this guard has rolled 2 nat 20s on a grapple check in a row. Like, this is ridiculous. Anyways, Effie's going to try and tug her hand from the guard, and before, or rather, she's unable to, as his grip holds firm. And she'll say back to the rest of the party, when Rona told me the day before she left that she was handling a matter that couldn't be discussed out loud, she's going to look to the guard and says, this is pertaining to that. The guard in golden armor nods. Effie looks back to the party and says, I'll go with them, and then I'll find you guys. But if they want to try and kill me for being a Terrai, I think I can hold my own.
So should we wait for you in town, or should we see you at the university?
Wait for her in town. It shouldn't take long.
Thanks, Effie.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what was that thanks at? Was that, like, sarcastic?
Yeah, sarcastic at Jordan, not sarcastic at,
Effie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I mean, that would be the response she gives, telling the party, I'll find you as soon as we're finished. Is it going to take long? The guards, tug her, forward, saying, it can't be discussed. She nods and begins walking with them.
I guess we'll give her a day.
As Effie walks away, Hilpelri is gonna say, geez, all of that? It's just a little investigation.
Investigation into what?
She's going to shake her head at Howzik and look to Urkus and say, I'm not allowed to tell the future. It's detrimental for your health, probably. Oh wait, that would mean I can tell the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the clauses to it.
Yeah, like...
Oh, we're kind of out in the open.
Yeah, we might not want to do this here, so...
She's going to gesture towards the building. It's still a pretty open building, but you guys can see the baseline of the base of the crystal of the gift in there, and say, "Well, do you guys want to see the monolith you came to see? We could always discuss it earlier." Effie will tell you everything. Probably.
I'm just more of like how they manhandle her into going is what worries me.
I think we're gonna be involved in some stuff. I don't know. I'm just gonna say stuff.
I'm gonna say something like the first time to the party and say, I know it's not my place and I hate to intrude, but we have what we need for the university. I think we should get there. That's the top priority, in my opinion.
Oh, wait. You have the thing for the university?
I do.
Can I see it?
No.
No.
Well, I'm sorry, who asked to see that?
Howzik asked to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna look to Tristan, unless I know better.
Well, you would know that you've known Howzik as long as you've known Elry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna shake my head and not say anything.
But I really want to study it.
I'm gonna hold it a little tighter. Take a step back a little defensively.
But I don't even know what it is. I just know there was 2. Maybe more. Is there more? I'm turning to Arcus.
We're not
Let's say to everybody else again.
It is not discussed.
Yeah, I think we should go to the university. Give us not too much trouble.
Magical secrets are magical secrets. Hilpelri is gonna slide her hand towards Howzik and say, for 100 gold, I could tell you.
Please don't.
She's wrong half the time.
It's called his extortion. Maybe this isn't the best person to be a part of the government.
How about
Nonsense.
How about 25 gold?
Oh goodness.
By the way, she says this like in a whisper towards Howzik. Roman and Jessica notice.
I mean, if I could see her lips moving, I know she's lying.
She rolled an 18 on her stealth check.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper back. How about 25?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Should you have to also do a stealth check?
16?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll me another stealth check if you don't want anybody else to know. Alright, so Howzik's gonna turn. It's like, how about 25? She'll shrug and put her hand forward.
I will give her 25 gold for information.
I'm gonna step in between them and look at him and say, I can't allow that.
As Jessica steps forward, Hilpelri is going to pocket the money and say, "Oh, well, sorry, I can't tell you."
No. She said this. She said between us. She didn't get that money yet.
After
The money's still in my hands.
I'll tell you everything you want to know after we get there.
I want to know now. You have a box. What's in the? Why is it lead? I need to know.
Maybe that's all we had on hand.
I'm just not gonna respond. I'm just gonna step back over to Tristan a little bit.
Hilpelri is going to put a hand on Howzik's back and say, lean over and whisper and say, "Don't worry, you find out eventually."
I want to know now.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, you guys walk inside the gift?
Sure, let's look at this shiny rock before we go.
Alright, in front of you guys is, let's see, do I have a description of it pre-written down? Streets of Relden, University, okay. Okay, so, in front of you guys is this, massive stone. It is, nearly 30 feet, tall, and it is as thick as a market square. It is trying to think if you... yeah, I'll use polygon. It is the strangest polygon shape you've seen. It is not like one cylinder of crystal. There are different sides to it. Each side there is a flat triangular surface, and there are hundreds, if not thousands, of these surfaces, each tilted in a slightly different direction.
It's a C1000.
Yeah. Shining down through this monolith as light comes in from the top of the tower. It is refracted and bent in a multitude of different ways through this monolith, and projected into singular beams on the wall are what eventually has been translated into characters. If anybody here can read the homebrewed language we have, Sunscript, you recognize the general makings of Sunscript, but it is not legible in its current form. You see how the text would arc and form the characters. It would take another step to write them and translate them. However, within the room, there are about a dozen priests on each side of this stone, each looking towards the wall and writing on a ledger. It seems that they are copying down the characters in the projected text. The text is slowly moving about the room as the sun is moving in direction over the top of the tower. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What were you asking?
I said House was going to take out his notebook that he writes down all his study notes and stuff, and starts drawing a sketch of the room and showing how the scriptures appear on the walls.
Okay. As you guys are in here looking at this, about every 10 minutes, the beams of light move enough that they hit a different part of the crystal and refract in a completely different direction. The messages only stay for a brief moment before that beam of light disappears and is projected into another part of the tower. If there was any way to properly display this to you guys, I think the easiest description would be like the slowest, largest, most peculiar disco ball you guys have ever seen.
That's what I gathered from it.
Like the lights are slowly spinning, and then after about 10 minutes, they just completely change places.
I gotta say that's a pretty cool image. I like that.
This place would be really boring on a cloudy day.
It would. Luckily, Lil Nagai is right on the equator, so
it's never cloudy.
So it doesn't snow.
Oh, you know what? Let's go to the other map for Derek, because he didn't get to see all my crazy scribblings.
No, not this thing again.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
This is where it's at.
That's the equator of the world right there.
Gotcha.
Or that's not the equator. That's where the sun rises and sets. So it passes directly overhead of Old Reldon every day.
It apparently goes
Good stuff.
northwest to southeast.
Yes. And then the other map explains very loosely why, or kind of why. But anyways, yeah, do you guys want to talk to anybody here, or do
Are there
anything?
people here?
Yeah, there are, like you guys, there are pilgrims coming and viewing the gift, and then there also appears to be a staff of priests here recording the messages.
I want to go to the priest and ask, how long does it take to learn Sanskrit?
As you ask the priest, I'm going to roll him a check. He is drawing a character, and he looks to you and says, "Wait, what?" And then looks back up, and his scripture disappears, and he says, "Oh!"
Ooh.
He starts scribbling another one and says, "I'm sorry, I'm on duty right now. I can't talk."
You can't talk and draw at the same time.
He focuses more on drawing. The group of, rather leading that group of 12 priests, there's another individual that walks towards you and is going to greet Hauzik by bowing and saying, "Iliaria, how can I be of assistance to you? Please do not disturb my priests as they're transposing."
I was just curious as to how much studying it takes to learn Sanskrit. It seems like the characters seem rather odd.
He nods and says, "It is a very complicated language. One could devote their entire life to studying it and never truly understand it."
Do you understand it?
He nods and says, "As much as a mortal can understand the speakings of a god." He points to one of the scriptures on the wall. As Hauzik inspects it, while it initially looked like a beam of light, it appears actually to be a couple dozen beams of light focused in one spot. There are tiny parts, though, of the beam where it is off in places, and different of the 12 beams, different parts of the beams overlap and don't overlap in areas. He points to each arcing overlapping area, which looks like would look like that as far as the overlap goes. And he would be pointing to these areas right here, and he would say the width and weight of these areas right here indicate the text and characters. However, it's not easy to just decipher them into Sanskrit from seeing the beams of light.
So is it the beams of light, or what appears on the wall that translates into Sanskrit?
He points to what appears on the wall and says it's the final characters on the wall.
Okay.
I'm going to show a document to you guys from another group.
I remember this one.
Yeah, that is what Sanskrit looks like after it's been translated.
So are these the symbols we're seeing on the wall?
Yes, you are, but they don't look exactly like that. You can see the...
Yeah, this is an actual letter.
Yeah. You can see the general arc of some of the words. Like, oh yeah, I've kind of seen that character before.
Gotcha.
Sunscript, by the way, is 100% written language. Nobody speaks it, and it's basically dead. This rock is the only thing that projects messages in it. This does not happen in any place else in the rest of the world.
Have you translated everything from this glyph yet?
He brings a hand to his chin and says, it's impossible for us to know the entirety of the goddess's will. While we think, in most cases, the scriptures repeat themselves over and over again. Occasionally, something that has never been shown will reveal itself.
If it's impossible, then why bother studying it? I understand studying things that seem plausible, but I don't understand studying things that are impossible.
He steps back for a minute and says, "You must have come to seek enlightenment. We don't study the gift to understand it. We study the gift because it's how the goddess communicates with us. These are her words, as she speaks them, being given to us."
Can you confirm that?
As Hauzik asked that, the group of 12 people writing are gonna, like, look up at Hauzik and just... in that moment of, oh my god, did he say that? The man standing in front of the group is going to put a hand on Hauzik's shoulders and say, "You cannot defile this holy place longer."
I'm not defiling it. I'm trying to understand it.
He begins pushing Hauzik towards the nearest entranceway.
I am digging in my heels, making sure he cannot push.
And he's going to say, we do not question the goddess's will. We record it, share it, and enact it across the world.
I am perfectly fine with you recording it and sharing it, especially if it's an actual language. But how do you know it's coming from the goddess? What if there's someone else up there typing it for you and sending it down here?
Hauzik is very close to being arrested for blasphemy.
We're fine with that.
Like Hauzik is seconds away from being arrested for blasphemy.
I am not trying to be blasphemous. I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I am not denouncing their faith in any way. I am trying to understand their faith.
You just question the entire basis of their faith, though.
Yeah, you realize the world is coming out of a spiritual awakening. Like, these people just got done murdering about a dozen other religions off the face of the planet. Not
for one, baby.
Because it was fun.
As Hauzik digs in his heels, he is going to yell, "Order 23!"
I ordered a 19.
I believe that the clones are now going to kill all the Jedi.
The two guards nearest to the door come in and see Hauzik fighting with the priests.
I am not fighting. I have done nothing.
You are digging your heels. Yeah.
You're struggling.
I'm resisting. But I'm also not being arrested.
Oh, that's so much better.
Also, I've done nothing wrong.
You question their faith at their most holy site.
I didn't question their faith. I didn't go up to them and say, "Hey, your God doesn't exist. This is fake."
You kind of did, though.
I'm like,
So,
You straight up asked, "Are you sure it's actually your God?"
Jordan, I absolutely,
it could be an angel. You don't know.
I absolutely adore you as a player, and I have loved every shenanigan you have pulled in this campaign. But anybody watching the stream right now is going to see me twice just uncontrollably facepalm. Twice in a row, and you have never caused me to do that before tonight.
This is what breaks.
How do you know that's your God? What are you talking about? I didn't downspeak their religion. I didn't.
Blasphemy. What?
No.
I'm speechless. He's speechless.
All right. Oh, good. Since everybody's stunned silent, I'm just going to straighten up my clothes and walk out.
Just don't come near us. We're not accessories.
We're not with him.
We're just tourists.
I don't know.
Oh, look, a pretty rock.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
Yeah, Hauzik is escorted out. However, he is not forced into custody or to leave the city. He is allowed to stare in towards the gift. He notices, though, from this angle specifically, the archway is just as thick as the monolith. He is unable to see any of the scriptures.
How many C's in thick, Brandon?
4. He's unable to see any scriptures projected onto the walls, as all he sees is the crystal in the center and the occasional person walking by the pathway.
Now I'm assuming this is like the dominant religion now.
I have another question.
Yes, like 75% of the world follows the wills.
Okay.
Since I am out of there, they didn't take Effie further into the thing, right? Because it's just a giant room with a crystal on top. There's no doorways.
Yeah,
or stairs.
there's a garden around this tower. Actually, I do kind of have a picture for this place if I still have it open. No, I don't. Anyways, it is this tower is the center of the town. There are 4 sections of the town around this. There is a small topiary garden around this tower, in correlating to each section of the town. Then outside of those garden areas, there are 1-story buildings surrounding the center of the town. They took Effie towards the 1-story building, or towards one of the 1-story buildings.
I'm going to go look for Effie, since I can't ask any more questions because I apparently offend people when I try to study.
Roll me an investigation check, and we will come back to Hauzik. The rest of the party is still inside. Do you guys want to go spew some blasphemy too?
Did we catch any of that?
Yeah, you guys definitely, he walked up to the nearest group. You guys, saw it happening, saw the commotion, saw all of the priests and clerics just stunned silent by Hauzik, just like, what's wrong? I'm just asking a question. And then you saw the guards walk in and them walk out with him.
I just want to mention real quick, in case it comes up later, I have the observant feat, so I can read lips.
Yes.
I'm gonna basically.
I would also like to note, I too have the observant feat.
If any time there's somebody talking out of sight, I'm out of range of hearing, I want to kind of maneuver so I can, understand what's going on if I can.
Okay. And, you guys caught, Roman, the left eye of Sauron and the right eye of Sauron caught all of that conversation.
Yeah, I don't think it was exactly quiet.
Yeah.
Like we were right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure that we were all keenly aware of should we care?
Do we care?
I'm sure the room also
proof of
has
this development.
good
ever
acoustics,
since-
so...
You guys want to sneak away from him while he's away? I think we can get out of here.
Quick inventory check. Do we have all of our important items?
Alright, y'all don't have an Effie.
My hand is always on the iron box. I'm not letting go of that for anything.
Ever since Hozak joined the group, Tristan has been constantly displeased with him. At first it was alright because it wasn't another Brock. At least it wasn't another Brock, but he's just, like, it's just gone downhill so fast.
I mean, this one's only a blasphemer. That's kind of better.
I'm
Well, the other one wouldn't be a blasphemer. He follows this religion.
Just
Yeah.
imagine him and Arthur Sarai. But how do you know you're a god?
Are you sure it's even the right one?
Oh, trust me, he would probably be asking similar questions if he met your any other gods from the four.
Yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia title screen. Hozak gets smoked.
And I think it's slightly better than Brock hitting on a goddess.
Yeah. Much.
Oh, that's slightly better just walking up. How do you know you're a god? That's better than saying, hey, you're a hot god.
I don't know. A lot
She
of
was a
people
cool
use
drink of
it
water.
for
She wasn't hot. She was a cool drink of water.
Alright, so, is the party, doing anything, inside there?
Other than applauding the guards as they carry this.
Slow clap,
out.
baby.
I'm just hanging out with Tristan, just kind of waiting for some direction, see what the party wants to do.
Woo! Alright, so we came in here for a reason. I swear we did, but I lost it in the
It
middle
was just to see.
No, there was no reason. Hippelry told you guys this thing was pretty, and you guys were like, sure!
Alright. Well, Tristan has had his fill of this thing, and he will leave.
Yeah, I mean, I've been here, done this.
Well, where's the university, like in relation to where we're at?
You need to go
5 days south.
Yeah, it is super far south. I'm going to go back to the other map without all the scribbles on it. Do I have it marked? It is just north of the major, of the capital of Ililnagai. I marked it with a purple X. And I will delete the stuff on the other map so that you guys can see the map without...
1, 2, 3, 4. It is 4 hexes down.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna quietly say again to the party that we really should get to the university as quickly as we can. This is a big deal, what I have, right? This is like world-ending, isn't it?
Potentially.
That's why Housick wants to study it.
We shouldn't be sightseeing, I don't think. I really want to urge everybody that you have a pretty important mission. We gotta get done quickly.
Except for your 2 people who grant you access into the Maple University are being indisposed of right now.
I was about to say
Oh.
our 2 contacts, the important one and the other guy.
Please don't. Okay, alright.
Wait, who's the other
For a
one?
second, I thought you were calling Kozak the important one, and
No. Effie's the important one.
Yes,
The other one.
yes, I agree.
Housick.
Is a backup plan.
Seriously?
He's like a spare battery of sorts, if you will.
I'd rather not.
Alright.
There's no way we could just walk in with this thing and say, hey, we need to speak to the head, whatever his name was. And
Well,
She is captured.
how about you let the people
Sorry.
present talk?
Fine.
Blasphemer.
nobody would give us like an
I don't
audience.
mean to point
If we said we
fingers,
had
but you
this thing.
did kind of blaspheme an entire religion just a couple of minutes ago.
And I mean, hell, we're over here with a heretic and a sailor and the evil guy and, you know,
You're
an
the
oddly
one that
talkative
gets arrested
Josica.
for blasphemy. Just pointing that out. We have a sailor who is an atheist. We have a priest of another religion, aka a heretic, and you're the one who gets
The
arrested.
son of a
by-
spirit wolf.
Yeah,
And you're the
the
one.
son of a pagan spirit wolf.
Hey,
And the scholar is the one that gets
Oh,
arrested.
and a child literally born out of the origin story of the heretic religion.
Right? Just
Yeah, I got no response to that.
Anyway, so
we should
back to
probably
the
go
point.
look into.
We have to at least retrieve. I can't remember his name.
Kozak?
Yeah, that guy.
How's it?
Howzik?
If we want to leave Effie behind, but personally, I think that we would want to wait for Effie.
Yeah, I think maybe.
The simple fact is, if we get there, I don't know if we could. They seem on the up and up, but I wouldn't know who to trust. Here is item. Please don't use it for bad purposes, and not know if they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I just.
Yeah, we're
Please don't
gonna.
end the world with this.
Yeah, we're gonna specifically need Effie to get this done.
As you guys are talking, Hilpelri is going to perk up and snap and say, "Oh, hold the wills in Dust and Dawn, like, believe they're true. Hold, I get it."
Have you been trying to remember it all of this time?
So glad, baby.
She looks like she's been,
all coming back.
yeah, she's been tuned out for quite a while.
Did she miss the part where her religion teacher is a blasphemer?
No, she was paying attention, but she's, it kind of all snapped of just like, how do you know they're true? And it's just like, the chant is, I hold these wills are true. Those are the words.
Yeah, that's it.
Huh. He did help her out.
Describe this woman. Scary beyond all reason? Yeah, that's about right. That's a deep cut.
The line specifically is, I am guided by the wills which I hold true. That's, just kind of snapped in her mind there. She rolled an insight check. So the party's just going to go out and try and trail after Howzik and find Effie.
Sounds good to me.
Effie said she'd find us, and she seems good at finding things.
Also, Sonia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, by the way, nobody here has commented on Urkus's soul, by the way.
Yay.
What's the deal with it?
Like, none of the people here have pointed out the weirdness.
Urkus talked to a god last campaign, and she told him his soul was scarred, and she couldn't heal it.
Look, if they're gonna ignore Hilpelri, they're gonna have to ignore me.
Yeah.
Right, I was about to say, we have a far bigger source of
I will
weirdness.
call her out.
Son, you seem ill.
Yeah, Urkus's
She's hanging around
father.
you. She can see the future.
Yeah, Urkus's father told him that only people affected by the same type of magic can ever pick it up.
Good, so no one here has been touched by gods or is demigod.
I was about to say, that would be real telling of anybody that pointed it out.
They're like, wait, how do you know?
Wait, so can he recognize others that are the same?
Wait, so
I
can
can't recognize
Urkus-
them, but they can recognize me, and if they can recognize me and point it out, then I know that they're also affected.
So keep it a secret.
The type of magic affecting Hilpelri and Urkus is a there are 4 types of magic in this world. There's arcane, which wizards, sorcerers, etc. Divine, drawing energy from gods. There is soul magic, which is just like, I can't use magic, so I'm just going to take people's souls and do stuff with it. And then there is another type of magic called bind breaking, which is just like, reality keeps you together like this. If I just cut this one string, oh, look at that.
You begin to unravel.
Yeah, that is the type of magic affecting Urkus and Hilpelri. Specifically,
So
when a specific...
concerned-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
we're a little bit concerned that he might just come apart like a quilt any day now.
Yeah. When different...
Oh, I got a thread!
Yeah, when different bindings are removed, different things happen. A specific one allows other people to, you know, see people who are affected by this magic. Hilpelri and Urkus, so far, they just look like people to each other.
Now, is that something they're born with, or is that like a class thing, or how does that come about?
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Mabel.
It happened because Hilpelri made a deal with a spirit that has access to this type of magic, and then the same type of spirit that Hilpelri made a deal with is what Urkus's father is. If that makes sense.
Quote unquote father.
Yeah.
Raised by it.
So
is really his sister then.
Yes.
One's by accident. One was by choice.
Yeah, Urkus, by the way, you know, it's more of a proximity thing for him, as what he knows as far as what his dad told him. It's like, this happened to you because you've just been around me for so long.
But she, on the other hand, she chose to do it. She's crazy.
Yeah. Well, she didn't choose to. She didn't know it was going to happen to her. She's just like, yo, do I ever join the Risen?
Sure, let me show you how. Let me show you if you do. Okay. Oh, you can also see everything now. Okay.
Thanks, Witch.
Cool.
I imagine that's how that conversation went.
Yeah. Anyway,
Hilpelri seems like the kind of person that would be like that.
Yeah. It was. I got 3 different thoughts going on in my mind. I'm gonna handle them all one by one. JD, if you're leading the party, or if you're trying to find Housick, you can roll me an investigation check too, unless you guys just stalk out directly after him. He hasn't gotten too far. It is your guys' choice as a party. I am going to tell you the results, Jordan, of your check.
Okay.
And then the other thing I meant to mention too, that this is for Tristan. I think I told you this for the first session. I don't remember if I did or not, but whenever Tristan turns, the mirror is always affected by True Sight that he has. Whenever he turns it towards Hilpelri and looks through it, he sees about a dozen of her.
Yeah, it's Headache City.
Yeah.
Looking at her.
Anyways,
It's like I actually have a video for this. Continue.
with the 17, the Housick is going to notice the building that that Effie was brought to. These buildings here in the center of town are made of... Not all of the town has been white marble, by the way. The outer wall is made of completely white marble, and the center buildings are made of white marble. They are open affairs, and Housick is going to see one where on the they're one-story buildings, but there are viewing areas on top of the building that look towards the center of town. Housick is going to see the 2 guards atop this building having a conversation. He cannot see Effie. However, there is no door keeping him out of this building.
I mean, open doors and open invitation, I guess. So I'm going to walk into the building. What does the inside look like?
All right. The inside of this place, and is the party stalking directly after Housick?
I'm inclined to let Housick just do what Housick wants to do.
If he's not too far, I'd probably want to keep an eye on him.
Okay, yeah, the party is going to see him. You guys are still kind of in the town square here. The party's going to see him in the distance just walk into one of these buildings. Let's see. This one belongs to... Alright. Inside, this building, Hauzik is going to see, Hauzik's going to see several, painted statues to his left and right. I don't think he's going to be able to make out any of them. Before,
Run your roll history check to see if I make out any of them.
Sure. Yeah, I'll tell you who they are. Yeah, Hauzik only notices the one closest to him because there's a similar one at the university. Walking through the door, there is a woman holding up her arm over the doorway with cloth from her arm forming an arch, and another statue on the other side holding up her arm, but it is of a different person. The one Hauzik recognizes is of High Prophet Philezra. It is the current High Prophet of the Sunyith. Statues like this are common in a lot of official buildings. He can assume that each one of these other statues is of a recent High Prophet. That is the current Pope of Hauzik's religion? I don't know what he believes in.
Hauzik was a farm boy.
Oh, yeah. So... but anyways, in the back of the room, it appears to this appears to be some sort of small lounge or waiting room. Its makeup is a temple. However, it seems to be a very private temple. There are two doorways leading to a back area outside of this room. Hauzik is the only one inside of here.
I go open the doorway to the back. I mean, just...
Alright, before...
No doors, nobody in here.
Before Hauzik walks to the back, he hears voices. He can make out Effie's voice talking to someone else. It is a perception check to try and listen in. Or you can just walk through the door.
I'm going to use that perception check.
Alright. So, by the way, just stepping into a holy private temple, you know, just eavesdropping on a conversation.
There's nobody there telling me not to!
It's a sacred city!
Yeah, but I really a sacred city with... Like, seriously!
Nobody said not to it.
Right? There's no sign that says, do not enter. If there is, it's probably in subscript and I can't read that anyways.
That is fair. Let's see. What's this?
The rules don't matter because I can't read them.
I agree.
Totally a way to get around the law.
There's no breaking it in, I didn't break anything.
That's not how that works.
I assumed there was a sign that said
Literally not how that
open.
works. If you leave your door unlocked, that doesn't disqualify robbery.
Oh!
No, but if...
Oh! It's this person! Okay, cool. So, there are, Hauzik is not going to be able to, and I'll tell you guys why I'm surprised later tonight. Hauzik is not going to be able to recognize who the voice is. It seems though, it is two female, or it is another female voice talking to Effie. And the conversation he overhears is, let me think where along they are in this. And she's going to say, really, I'm the governor of this area. I should be privy to these types of meetings. Effie is going to respond and say, if the church deals or chooses to deal in secrecy, it's not something I can wholly reveal. I'm barely even allowed to be here myself.
That was Effie's sentence, that last one?
Yes.
Okay.
They go back and forth debating this. Basically summarizing the voice that Housick can't understand, or rather can't recognize, is also not supposed to be here.
Okay.
It appears they're waiting on somebody else to come enter this meeting.
Okay, so I know now that there's someone else to come in the meeting. Is there a place I can hide?
Behind
one of the statues.
Yeah, you can hide behind one of the statues. There are pillars along. Like marble, stone pillars along the sides of the room, in between the wall and the open area of the inner room. They are completely for display and non-aesthetic reasons. If you give me 1 second, I'm gonna grab my book real quick.
Alright, I need to also ask if there's any, like, really shady parts in the room. Like, I don't know how the sun's pointed to know if there's, like, a part that's a lot darker, or if there's, like, a lit room with torches. Mm-hmm. Did he just leave? No.
Said you had to get something.
Wait, can you guys hear me?
Okay.
I was back. I had muted my mic as I stepped away, so you guys didn't have to hear all my information. So yeah, I just answered all of your questions, and you didn't hear any of it.
None.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Anyways, you asked if there's any shade in the room.
It's like any really particularly dark areas.
Yeah, the room is lit by sunlight right now, so as long as you stay out of the 3 doorways, you'll be fine. And I mentioned the pillars along the wall. And each of the statues has a place atop of where they have their hands raised to place a candle. A Lil Nagai has the benefit of, being on the equator, not having to worry about heating their buildings or about really lighting them with as much sunlight as they get. That said, there are areas that Housick can hide in here.
Alright. How big is this room? Dimension-wise?
Now, there are lots of these buildings around the gift. This room is probably about 40 feet by 40 feet. It is not very large.
Huge.
It is it's huge for a room, small for a building. This one room makes up the entirety of the building.
Well, what I was going to do is find an area that is about, I don't know, say a 15-foot cube that's crowded in shadows, and is standing there if possible.
Okay, you want to hide behind in between a statue and a pillar?
Yeah, if it provides like a 15-foot cube worth of shade, yes.
All right, go ahead and roll me a stealth check.
Well, here's the thing. I am a tiefling. I was going to cast darkness, so it just looks like particularly shady over there.
Now keep in mind, darkness is magical darkness. The spot you cast darkness at, it becomes pitch black.
Yeah, that's why that's why I was asking you if there's any dark areas in the room.
It's like a huge sphere of darkness, so right? It's going to be pretty obvious.
Okay,
yeah,
so
it's not like, oh, this area. There's no area where there's, no light hitting it. There are areas that are shady and like low light that you can hide in. There's no pitch black areas where it's going to be like no difference between darkness and, the amount of no light. Like if you cast darkness, it's going to be like, hey guys, look at that black spot right there. What is that?
That's what I was trying to avoid. That's why I was asking. So you need really dark areas.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like behind the pillar, if it's like behind a pillar in a corner, it's not having any direct sunlight pointed at it, will probably be particularly dark. And then how big of an area would that be?
Yeah, there's no area.
Okay.
The way of just baseline on average, how your bright light is going to work is bright light, and then, for another 15 to 30 feet, dim light in that area. So even if, bright light is within the first 10 feet of each doorway, the entire interior of the area is lit with dim light.
Okay. Well, then I will attempt to stealthily hide with my +2 to stealth.
Believe! Alright, 12. Alright, so we're going to hop over to the rest of the party.
I know the eyes of Sauron can see me.
Please, son, you had to roll a net 20.
I did.
The rest of the party is going to see a the rest of the party is going to watch a procession of Sunyith officials walk into the building that they saw Housick go into. At the center of this procession is a priest in more white than gold robes. There's only one streak of gold running down the back of his robes as he's being escorted into this area. Standing next to him seems to be walking next to him seems to be a peasant. Like, this guy doesn't at all seem like he's supposed to be anywhere near these people. He is dressed in pilgrim's clothes and is also being escorted by these dozen order specialists.
Is it like a hostile situation, or is he like comfortable, like he belongs with them?
He seems uncomfortable, but it doesn't seem. He seems more like awkward, of like, he really knows he shouldn't be here, but it doesn't seem hostile at all. It's not like he's handcuffed or guarded or anything like that.
Is it almost like a starstruck type of thing, where he can't believe he's in this good situation? Not that either.
Yeah, I would if you want to roll me an insight check, I can, tell you how closely, just like it can get to his emotions. Pretty daggone close. She's going to read it more so as fear.
Okay.
If anything, it looks like these people are protecting him.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm gonna point that out to Tristan, and maybe kind of suggest we might want to get a little closer. Maybe kind of saunter over there, inconspicuously, but try to bring the party back together if possible.
Sure. Is there anything remarkable about the guards otherwise?
The specialists escorting him?
Yes.
These guys. So, as you guys have been traveling through Ililnagai, the Sunyith deploys their orders out with 5 specialists, a priest, and 1 person who specializes in a different area. Normally, only and you guys saw this in Forest Fall. Normally, there's only one person out of that group who is the combat specialist.
And there's 4 here.
Yeah, no, there's a dozen.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, these...
Like it's so dead.
Yeah, these paladins are strapped. Like, full plate armor. Like, each one of these guys, if you could kill them out on the road, is worth probably 3,000 gold. Just off the bat.
So which class are you gonna roll up next, Hosik?
Hey, I'm not doing anything hostile. I'm just, like, wanting to listen in on this conversation.
You know where you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I didn't know it wasn't supposed to. I knew it wasn't supposed to be in the conversation, but I didn't know I couldn't be in the building.
Alright, so Urgus is gonna facepalm, see the procession of people, see how they went into that building that they were going into, and just sigh.
Now,
Maybe
it's
you just leave it alone.
it's worth stating. As they get to the door, the specialists stay outside. Only the priest and the man walks in.
Are they like 4 guards per each door?
Yeah, as they turn and half of them kneel, the other half begin to two stand watch at the door, and then what's that leave? 4? Yeah, the other 4 would go around up to the servant side to get on top and start talking to the other guards. There are 8 at the door, and none inside.
Can I make out the lips of the ones that are talking to get an idea of what they're talking about?
Okay.
Or not too far?
They are escorting, they're escorting a priest by the name of Shiazro. Oh my god, I'm gonna change that. Why would I do... No.
It's not bad.
I was drunk when I wrote this.
I believe it.
Seems fine.
Anyways, they're escorting a priest by the name of Shiazro, and they can't discuss the matter at hand. However, it appears that there is a member of the Mathis University in town, and they're hoping that she can solve it.
Is that the university we're going to?
Yes. They are referring to Effie.
Talking about Effie.
Yeah. Howzik inside, you want to bite your nails, Jordan? You want me to keep you on the edge of your seat, or you want me just to tell you?
You know what? You play it out. Don't tell me first. Play it out. Tell me what the guy does.
As they walk in, the man looks... Howzik is going to notice a priest and a common man look around. The man begins to admire each of the statues in the room, and before he can glance at more than 2 of them, the priest snipes back and says, "This is a holy place, mind yourself." He immediately shoots his head down, bowing, and says, yes, I apologize. Let me look at this document. The priest is going to, say a prayer. Alright, there we go. Which one is he going to say? He's going to repeat a will for this building, and I'll just roll a die. How about that one? And say a prayer of protection for him and the servant and all those who serve Alilia's will. As he finishes his prayer, he walks to the back of the room and says, Terai. Stepping into the doorway, Howzit can see Effie and another woman step into the.
I understand. I agree. I'm grateful for that, Brandon, but I'm not going to do anything that's going to blow my cover.
Okay,
I
well,
will stay cowering behind this pillar.
yeah. I'm just telling you what he sees.
Okay.
He sees Effie step into the doorway. She moves a step forward, and he puts a hand up and says, "This place has been blessed, and your presence isn't to defile it." She nods, and the woman next to her bows to the priest and says, and the priest bows back and says, "Supreme." The priest says to the woman, "Supreme Light Lyra, or Supreme Light Primata, I appreciate your presence in this, but once again, Felezra has deemed this a matter not to be discussed openly." The woman nods and says, "I don't doubt her wisdom." She steps into the temple and walks past the peasant and past the statues, walking out. And she's gonna match that stealth check.
But would you say anything? Is
Yeah,
the question.
that's the better question.
Okay, I got a question.
She is
Does she
going
have a higher
to.
bonus?
Well, I feel that it's a. Well, if it's her passive, I don't know which direction that would go in. Would you like to have a roll off? I'm not going to tell you the result of the check yet. I'm not going to tell you what she does until you decide if you want to roll off or not.
We can roll off.
Roll off!
Alright, believe in yourself.
Do a D20?
Yep. Roll another stealth check.
Another stealth check?
Yeah. It's a tiebreaker.
This is a tiebreaker. Okay, so this has nothing to do with the previous one.
Yeah.
15.
Alright. She is going to beat your check by 1.
Damn.
On a 16. Okay. She rolled a 15 that time.
Okay. Do I notice her notice me?
Yes. You guys
I'm going to put my finger up to my lips and to shush, be quiet. When I see her eyebrows, when our eyes meet.
You guys are going to match eyes. And she is going to stop in front of the statue that you're standing in front of, which, by the way, is a male. It is one of the few males in here. She is going to say out loud, one of my favorite things of High Prophet Erlor was the information that he collected from the gift. And he shared with others around him. The priest in the room is going to turn around and say, "Yes, but this information is not to be shared." She's going to nod towards the statue and say, "Yes, I understand that." Locking eye contact. Supreme Light Primata. Locking eye contact with Howzit before walking out.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I will totally do her that favor.
As she leaves, the man is the priest is going to gesture towards the man and say, "This is a man on a pilgrimage who was cleaning the gift the night that Oh, gotta stay true to prophecy. There we go. Cleaning. This is a man who was cleaning the area around the gift. The night Alilius appeared in the sky. Effie is going to nod and say, guiding stars have appeared before over the gift. That's nothing new. The man nods and says, yes, ma'am, but it shot or rather a beam of light came straight from the star into the stone, projected a message. The priest says, we don't keep staff inside the gift at night, as there's no reason to without light. Just the guards that patrol it and the pilgrims that pray underneath it. Effie nods and says, and you were the only one who saw it? He nods and says, it was only there for a second. She looks towards the priest and says, is this what, when Rona was investigating? The priest nods and says, we sent for her in this matter, as it's not something we want getting out to the public. Effie looks towards the man and says, do you read Sanskrit? He shakes his head and says, no, madam. And she says, so you want me to try and interpret his drawings or his memory of it? The priest shakes his head and says, no, of course not. We have scholars that can do that. The man speaks up and says, the message wasn't in Sanskrit, ma'am. I could read it with my own eyes. It was common words, characters and letters. Effie looks and shocked and says, what did it say? The man quivers for a moment and says, I never considered mysteries unraveled. Effie looks towards the priest and says, is that a scripture? He shakes his head and says, the gift has never said anything like that before. We had people trying to decipher the meaning of the goddess's words, but honestly, we don't know what it could mean. We sent for an Ilderon from Girion, and we sent for Dila. Both of them investigated it. Effie is going to say, wait, more than was here? The priest nods and says, yes. An Ilderon from the First Council came, as the gift, once again, is mysterious in nature. She says, who? Who was it? He shakes his head and says, that's unimportant. What's important is the text given to us, and why it was in common, and why he could read it, and why it appeared under a guiding star. Your university handles things like this, doesn't it?
Brandon, I want to pause you for a quick second.
Yes.
Can you repeat the what was read? Was it, I've never considered mysteries unraveled?
Let's see. Hoping I read that correctly. I'm sorry, when I roll, my brain just gets turned off. Alright, I never considered oh, I'm sorry, I butchered that. I never considered unraveling codes unlocked.
Unraveling codes unlocked.
Yep.
Okay.
And she's going to look to the peasant and say, and how are you sure he's not making this up? He shakes his head and says, I wouldn't lie about the wills, madam. I wouldn't. The priest nods and says, there were other pilgrims there that night. They confirm they saw something, but only he was the one close enough to read it. Effie nods and says, "Alright, I will have to cross-reference it with other sightings of Aurelius in the past from the university's star charts. I'll do what I can." The priest nods and says, "Yes, I hope you would work quickly, as your mistress has taken it upon herself to just disappear in this, and High Prophet Philezra thinks this is of the utmost importance." Effie is going to ask him, "So, when Rona was here, where did she go afterwards?" He's going to say, "Tara, I don't have concern for you or your pagan magical mistress. I'm only concerned with the information and services your university provides to Alil Nagai. And it is because of those services you are allowed to live. Don't forget your place." She looks at him angrily, burying her fangs. Not as a threat, but just kind of as a subconscious growl. Before he returns the expression, not with his teeth, and turns and begins to leave. The peasant bows to Effie and says, "Your magical madam," and turns to follow the priest. Effie puts up a hand and says, wait, I need to ask you a few questions. Time, citing what the characters look like, could you recreate them?" He stays and answers Effie's questions for about 5 minutes before he finally he answers all the questions she needs, and he walks out of the temple, joining the priests. Once the priest leaves, 2 guards are going to walk in through the side entrance. Oh, look at Hausick go! Look at... So...
I think this is more endemic of the lack of perception skills.
So, the priest and peasant walking in rolled a 7 and 9 respectively. 5 and 10 on these guards. Look at Hausick go! They are...
Stealth.
Yeah, they are going to come and escort Effie through the temple as, her presence defiles it. And the rest of the party is going to see this large procession leave, and Effie being escorted by the 2 guards that took her away. Oh, we should probably handle the rest of the party. What's the rest of the party doing outside?
I assume we were just kind of staring.
Yeah, as these people go inside and all of this is happening, the party is going to see a woman dressed in magistrate's robes walk out of this. Walk out of this building. She steps over. She steps over and begins talking to the guards. You can see her requesting a. The people who can read lips see her requesting a order for her personal protection, as it seems she will be praying in the temple when the priest is done.
Effie will be praying in the temple?
No, this is the other lady.
Yeah, the Supreme
I
Light.
forgot about her.
Hey, remember what you hear and tell me later.
Oh.
Who are you?
No. I forgot. I forgot that they would see her first.
Yeah.
I wrote my notes down this time. I was like, Supreme Light Pramada, and here's the thing.
All right. Yeah, if the party wants to approach her and talk to her, they can.
She's still surrounded by all those beefy guards.
No. She requests them to. She's telling them that she's going to be in the temple, and that she'll need a group of guards to protect her when she is. She is not in there yet, and these are not her guards. These guys protect number one hated dude. You guys.
The hated guy? Is he here?
I was about to say, number one hated dude. They can't see housing.
I was thinking that Draylen's back in Artisarai.
He is in Artisarai. That's another country.
Draylen's number one hated dude.
From
I think-
Brock.
I was about to say, for Jordan, teabag it, me.
Anyways, though, if the party doesn't approach her, she is sitting on the lawn of the garden. They've set up a small. I forgot the word for it, but it's pretty sure it starts with a P, and it's like a tent. Pavilion, there we go. They've set up a tiny pavilion for her, shielding her from the sun.
Glad it's not a gazebo. Those things are deadly.
And she is sitting, reading in the grass outside the temple. As of right now, she is unguarded. The party is, if they just stay there watching, next they're going to see eventually the priests step out, followed minutes later by the peasant that walked in, and then the guards are all going to escort them away. Two specialists emerge seconds later with Effie in tow, not manhandling her as rough as before.
Oh look, they're being nice now.
Oh, I know.
Effie's going to see the party and wave towards them. Oh, snap! I didn't roll Effie's perception check.
I'm
inside
assuming
the
her
woods.
passive saw me.
Yeah,
I feel like
that's...
she would have maybe called you out.
I don't think she would. Mostly because she doesn't want to get in trouble.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's kind of like, what do you do? Oh, God. Stop. Yeah, she would be in another situation of matching you.
You want to have a roll off?
In that case, it's her passive. So she is not attacking your stealth check.
Okay.
So in the your stealth check is attacking her passive. In the case of a tie, it goes to the attacker.
Okay.
Yeah. The NPCs I don't have rolled up. I roll them, you know, a stealth check or a perception check. So they walk through their surroundings. Anyways, once again, you guys know I didn't expect you guys to come to this city at all tonight. So it will have a tab on Roll20 though next session. Anyways, yeah. Effie is outside. She's going to rejoin the party and immediately say, "Wait, where's the researcher? How's it?"
I'm just gonna point behind her.
She's gonna look back at the now empty temple.
Is everybody far enough away now so I can get out?
Yeah, Hauzik is going to start, like, as far as Hauzik knows, the place is empty. The party is going to see the Supreme Light stand up from her seat and start walking in towards the temple. Hauzik is going to be walking out of the temple at the same time towards the open doorway before this woman steps in his path. The entire party is going to look at this as they pointed towards it and see Hauzik confronted by this woman.
Oh.
Effie is going to facepalm and say, "Ooh, I wonder how much she trusts this governor. I'm gonna roll a percentage die. 100, she has a great relation with Lyra. 1, she has a bad relationship. She is going to look. She's going to look towards Lyra, or rather the woman in the magistrate's robes, and say, "That's the supreme light for this region. She can't stop poking her nose into things that don't concern her."
What do you know? She just ran into the other poker.
She is, Hauzik is going to be stepping out of the temple, and she steps into the doorway. Effie is going to be walking very quickly towards her. Does the rest of the party join?
Yeah, might as well.
Sure not.
Alright, as Hauzik's stepping out, she looks down at Hauzik and says, and she is decently tall, by the way. She looks down at Hauzik. I don't know how tall Hauzik is.
I don't think Hauzik knows how tall Hauzik is.
Yeah.
Hauzik does not.
Yeah, no height. Alright. Yeah, she's gonna look down at Hauzik and say, "Hello there."
I was like, okay, what, does Hauzik notice Effie quickly approaching?
Yes, he does.
Alright, then I'm going to let her know that I'm going to keep this brief because they don't look happy with me. And be like, "Hi, Hauzik, if you want to look me up later. Friends apparently don't like me talking to you, so be really brief. The message that was seen was, I've never considered unraveling codes unlocked. It happened in the middle of the night under a guiding light, and it was written in common instead of Sanskrit, so the commoner could read it."
Yeah, the rest of the party is going to see those who can read lips are going to see Hauzik talking.
Thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Before she can respond, Effie is going to place a hand on her shoulder, turning her around and saying, "Supreme Light Pramada, as we discussed before, this is a matter that does not pertain the government. It is a university concern. The church wished it to be handled privately."
Have we caught up?
Yes, the rest of the party is right behind Effie.
Hauzik told her everything.
She's Effie, let's just, you know what? Just percentage die. 100 angry, 1 expected. Effie is going to look towards Hauzik and say, "That's information you shouldn't be privy to."
Well, the deal was the deal. I got privy to it, she got privy to it, and I got the... that's exactly what the deal was. She let me be privy to it, she got privy to it. I wasn't going to back down on that deal. And I never back down on good deals.
You know, if you get one punch, you get the other free.
You don't know if that was a good deal or not. That could be very harmful for us.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out of character.
I mean, it was good for me. I got the information I wanted to know.
Effie is going to pinch her eyes together, and Supreme Light Pramada is going to say, "Now, Ophelia, you should know that I only wish to act in the best interest of the Lil Nagai. If there's if there's anything I can assist with in this matter, I'd be happy to lend my supreme amount of resources that have been provided to me. Effie is going to grind her teeth and say, I don't go by that name anymore. And she nods and says, of course. But still, Effie cuts her off and says, whatever it is that he told you, whatever it is we're dealing with, this information caused Dila to disappear. You might be in the same danger, and I don't even know what it is yet.
She's right, you know. And I also, or unlike the saying, I do consider Ravlian codes to be unlocked. All we have to do is unravel them first.
Effie is, alright, you know what? I'm just gonna percentage die again, because, you know, there we go. 100, she attacks, Howzik.
What the fuck?
1, she just very, like, visibly, like, puts up her hands and...
I was gonna state in my defense before she, like, probably beats the shit out of me, that everybody else already knows. Except for freaking JD.
Yeah,
I would like to state that's not in your defense. It's because you opened your mouth.
Yeah, and she's going to like put up her hands like in kind of a wince, and it's like, don't say it out loud. Like, stop saying it out loud.
Oh yeah, this is going great.
I got loose lips, sink ships.
Roman would know.
Hey,
he's on a boat.
I want you guys to know I am 100% happy with like how this story is unfolding. You guys, you guys are doing well.
You could have changed it a little bit. You could have.
I did change it a little bit.
Did you? Okay, I didn't.
Yeah, instead of I never considered, I said I always considered.
Well, we'll see if that matters or not. I guess when we all die.
Well, it'll be
My last breath, I curse Howzik.
With my dying breath.
Curse you, Zelda. Curse you, 7 sages.
All right.
But let that.
As you guys are standing there talking in the entranceway, a group of significantly less important guards are going to come up to, like, these guys have...
Or takeable.
Yeah. They're going to come up behind the
we will kill them.
temple.
We will take their experience points.
And say to Supreme Light, as the party's talking to her, Supreme Light Pramada, we're here to keep watch on the temple. And she looks back to Effie and says, yes, I was simply walking in to pray. Nothing more, nothing less.
I just got done praying, so I am walking out. Praying that I wouldn't get caught.
I was gonna say,
can you pray to a religion you blaspheme? Isn't that just more blasphemy?
Alright, I think we should go.
We need to leave.
Oh wait, I want to test out something before we leave this town. I really want to test this out.
What do you want?
Well,
Go ahead. What do you want to test?
Before we leave the Supreme Light, I want to say to her kind of quietly, you might want to be careful trusting what that guy says. He's a known blasphemer. Ask your high priest.
Can confirm. No,
we have a whole room of people.
Yeah.
So a little doubt.
So what I want to try, if there's any possible way to pull this off, is in the middle of the night, shining a light through the windows in the tower to see if more scripts in common appear. or if it just happened that one night.
We
Like
will
if
be
you could
out
like,
now by
if you could
then.
like manufacture.
I
it
mean,
to
you can
happen.
stay. You can cast some lights. You can figure out what the Illuminati.
I can't get inside the tower.
Like,
I can't get inside the tower.
Well, we wish you luck with that.
have fun.
We won't be.
Remember, none of our names.
Oh, I remember everybody's name.
Hi, I am Brock Brooks. Just so you know.
I'm Russell Reynolds.
Yeah. Walking away from the Supreme Light in the temple, I'm going to let you guys discuss amongst yourselves your next course of action, and then we will end there for the night.
Well, it seems pretty straightforward. We've got Effie and her items back. There's no reason not to hold back on getting back to the academy now.
Agreed.
Yeah, and
But
then
what if we?
At the start of this session.
and once we finally take care of that, we can finally move on to whatever Effie learned here.
Yeah. Pretty much everything that we do next more or less hinges on what Effie finds out from her boss.
Well, depending on what happens at the university, that could be a big disaster.
All right.
Or we could do our own investigation and just try and finish Winona's stuff before we meet Winona.
Or
Winrona.
Winona.
when we get out of the Holy Land before we're considered enemies of the state.
Or we take this little dagger and take over the world.
Yeah, there you go.
I like it.
Wait, there's a dagger? Is a dagger inside that box?
No, I said a.
Is that a character?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely out of character.
It's you guys are only all you guys need to do is just point out Roman as a member or worshiper of the Forgotten Songs, and that he knows a few our first Forgotten Songs, and that he knows a verse or a few of it, and then everybody in the town would just like turn on
distraction and a couple dead Sunyas.
I mean, that sounds perfect.
No, that would be a beautiful. I'll have put that in my notes. If we ever need that distraction, just start singing.
I mean, nobody is going to know what you're singing. The fact that the religion is, still existed or somebody is recording it is, what's going to cause the, hey, shouldn't we kill that guy? Yeah, probably.
Just to be safe.
Alright, so your guys' next session is going to be on the 17th of February, and I will work through this week with Derek to get you a character rolled up. Really enjoyed playing with you tonight.
I'm sitting here.
We might be able to meet him at the university.
Yeah.
That could work. I can always just play just like it until we get to that point if need be.
We had 2 weeks. You'll probably roll somebody up by then.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have someone by then.
So, experience points for tonight's session. Just holy fudge, good role-playing, all around. Everybody doing things that, your characters would do, despite, the safety of said character.
Jordan,
I like living on the edge.
he sticks to his roles. I applaud you.
Jordan's high point, sticking to his character. The low point, sticking to his character.
Pretty much.
I am going to I'm gonna just off the bat award Jordan that thing I forgot, inspiration. There we go. And then for everybody else, for the rest of the party, I'm gonna save flat 1,000 experience for the storyline, and then I'm gonna do bonus for each additional thing you guys uncovered. Let's see. Oh yeah, finding out this about the gift, 500 off the bat for that, because did not expect you guys to go here. More of Hilpelri's storyline and why she failed the test. Give 200 for that. keeping an eye on Draylin, and then remembering that the Cold of the Fifth Ascended was a thing too. In total for tonight, I'm gonna give for everything 2,100 experience.
That's the grand total.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if anything else significant happened. You know what? I'm also going to give Tristan inspiration for for his poop argument with Hilpelry. It's like this is common in the army. Ooh, armies! I like armies. I've studied armies before. Can you teach me? No, I'm pooping. It's fine. I won't even look.
I too have found inspiration while taking a shit. Doesn't make sense.
And I'm gonna end the